This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean,
But if
folks?
rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take podcast with Bryan Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, like, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions, and I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 132. I'm Bryan.
I'm Spencer.
Find us at the Our Take Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, or the OurTakePodcast.com, where you can also find some sweet swag. It's August the 7th, everybody. On this day in history, the Purple Heart was instituted. Which president do you think instituted the Purple Heart? Which, if you know, is for if you're wounded. Right?
Roosevelt.
George Washington.
Oh, wow.
Then known as the Badge of Military Merit. The Purple Heart is a military decoration. In 1932, on the 200th birth anniversary of Washington. Yeah, so Washington's 200th birthday.
Miss?
Come on. It was decided that the award would be given to those wounded or killed while serving in the United States Armed Forces as a result of enemy action on or after April 5th, 1917. What if you were shot by the Germans
No.
on April 4th?
No way.
This is some bullshit. But what did George Washington institute then?
The precursor.
What did,
The non-Purple Heart.
yeah,
It said what it was at the beginning.
Badge of Military Merit. But
That's what it was called.
what is that? What gets you that? Let's see.
Same thing.
Cross of St. Louis. Non-commissioned officers and privates.
Wait.
So you're saying that it was
Non-commissioned with private? Or without?
Had to have privates back then. So you're saying that it's the same award. It was if you were injured.
I think so.
So before April 5th, 1917, you still got a badge of military merit. I see.
It just wasn't
I see.
purple.
I think I'd rather have the badge of military merit.
Why?
But I'm not a soldier. I don't know.
You don't like purple?
Actually, I do really like purple.
And hearts?
I don't like hearts. This day in history, a daredevil walks a high wire between the twin towers of the World Trade Center.
What's his name?
He's French. His name is Philippe Petit. 24 years old, walked 8 times across the high wire. Did you watch this
I think
movie?
I've seen her on Pornhub.
No, what's that dude's name? Joseph Gordon-Levitt played the guy who did it.
Oh, that's right. No, I didn't see that.
1974.
That was 11 years before my birth.
That's true. Do you think that
Just throwing that out there.
I remember watching the movie, and it was like because the trade towers were still under construction. That's how he got up there.
Oh.
It's crazy though, because he like laid down on the.
Little
wire.
did he know. Maybe if he hadn't have done that, they
true.
wouldn't have got press.
Yeah,
That wouldn't have been the target.
it's true. It just would have been.
Have you been watching? For All Mankind?
Yeah, I finished it.
Oh,
well, I caught up. I should
Well,
say.
yeah. There's one more episode, but I've noticed.
Wait, is the new episode out?
No, there's one more.
okay,
That's next
okay.
week. But during the newscasts, the Twin Towers are prominent in
Yes.
the background.
And it's the 90s.
It's the 90s.
Yeah.
I really think they're doing that because it's leading up to that not happening
Right,
in the next season when they go into the 2000s.
right. And they'll probably make Gore the president.
Ooh, maybe.
I bet you they make Gore the president.
Well, I don't know. No, because she beat Bill Clinton, so anyone even knows who Al Gore
That's
is.
true. She did.
Spoiler
beat Bill.
alert.
It's a good show, but it's historical, very much fiction.
Yeah, it's what could have happened.
Yeah, much like scripture. Hey, I have not really a retraction per se, but Ashley was listening to the show.
Yeah.
Last week.
Okay.
And it was it's about Johnny Kim.
Oh,
should run
yeah.
for president.
Right.
And I was like, "Did you listen about that guy? It's crazy, right? He's crazy."
Right.
And she's like, "Honestly, I wasn't paying attention that much because I thought it was a joke because when Spencer introduced him, he said like Jonathan Kim
Well,
or something.
was that his full name?
His name is I don't know, but she thought you were making fun of the North Korean president, like Kim Jong-un, John Kim, Johnny Kim.
No. Oh, it's because his name's. I must have said Jonathan Yong Kim.
Yong, yes, yeah. So anyway, it was just funny. So if you had the same thing as Ashley,
No,
where
Johnny Kim is not fictional.
no, he's very
all
much
the
real.
all the things that Kim Jong Un has said he's done, Johnny Kim has actually
Yeah,
done.
including he no longer poops.
Yeah.
He
It's
got-
just absorbed in
Yeah,
it.
he figured that out in med school.
Yeah.
In preparation for
Was his thesis, his Harvard
for
thesis.
his astronaut. Anyway,
No, that wasn't true. That part.
no.
yeah.
Everything else, though. Basically, any accomplishment you can think of, he's
Well,
done.
since we talked about Johnny Kim and how smart he is, I want to tell you something that happened to me the other day that is the complete opposite.
We'll call it the Connie Gym.
Yeah. So it was early morning, and I was driving Uber. I woke up early and was like, I'm going to go drive for work. And I got to this, I need to go get gas. So I pulled up to the stoplight, and it was red for a while. And there were two cars across from me, and I was going straight, and they had their blinkers on.
Okay.
And the light turned green, and
So you should have just proceeded.
instead, I'm like, "You idiots! Why aren't you turning? Why aren't you going?" I'm saying this out loud, and then the one guy just goes eventually, and I'm like, "Come on! What the hell?" And then I cross, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I should not. This is not."
Oh man!
I don't know what led me to.
If you had been armed,
I know, right?
it could have been.
Why
a
did you
problem.
shoot them? They had the green.
I was taught that if you're going left, you just go.
Yeah, it was.
You're like one of those people at the
And
four-way
it,
stop who
it
waves
did.
to
It did
people.
take me as I pulled into the gas station. It took me a few minutes to be like, "Oh man."
You didn't. Did you like let out a chuckle?
No, it was just embarrassing. It like kind of ruined my whole day. I'm like, "Oh, maybe I
'Cause you
am
were still mad?
stupid."
You were still mad. as
No,
you got-
I was
you're
just.
like
I
shoving
wasn't.
the-
I wasn't mad. I was disappointed.
I could see like shoving the gas in your car like all aggressive. Stupid assholes.
Oh man,
That's
it
pretty
was
funny.
bad. So I've been paying close attention to my stoplight reactions.
I thought you were going to go the other way because I think everyone has been at a left and the light turns green and they kind of
Yeah.
because they think that
Yeah. No, not this. I'm just glad they went and we didn't go through the whole light cycle. And
they'd be so
I
mad
just
at
hope
you.
I just hope that by the time the next light cycle came around,
Right.
I would have figured out so they didn't like come up to my window. Sir?
You okay?
Sir?
You're going to get shot and then you're going to be like, why did they shoot you? And you're like, I was letting them go.
I was being it was early. I was wanting to do my good deeds for the day. And one thing led to another.
Yeah.
So I was having a conversation the other day. Well, I was at my sister's.
Yeah.
And Frozen was on in the background.
Sure.
There's a lot of musical numbers in Frozen.
Right.
And I was like, Amy, have you ever like just really thought about how stupid musicals are?
It's true.
Like how dumb it is that they just break out into singing.
Right.
And then I was like, there's so many planets out there. I bet there's a planet where it's the
They
opposite.
just sing those.
Everybody sings, and then they go to Broadway to see just spoken word.
Spoken word.
This is a terrible play. Yes, it is.
And then there's people doing podcasts.
Yeah.
They're like, what is the point of the spoken word shit?
Yeah. It's so stupid.
No, I've often thought of it. Listen, I'm not a fan of certain musicals.
I'm not saying I don't like them or
Right.
they're not entertaining. I'm just saying when you really dive deep down
No,
to the
it's
actual
weird.
concept, it's really stupid.
It's strange, and if you think about it too much, it becomes existential.
Right?
You start to think like, well, what's the point of anything? Because
Why am I alive?
yeah. And you start arguing with yourself. You're like, well, I actually kind of like the music, like Phantom and Les
Right.
Mis and stuff. And then you're like, but I guess I don't know the meaning of anything.
Next thing you're in the middle panhandling for money because you've just gone insane.
Right.
You've lost your
Yeah.
mind. Where did it all start? Musicals.
Musicals.
Were you in one and it failed? No, they're so stupid.
Yeah, and we're not saying they are though, but they are.
No, they're not.
They're
They're
not.
entertaining. They're great. They are a great form of art.
They're not stupid, but they're stupid.
But when you really dive deep into the concept itself,
It's kind of weird.
it's like, oh man, this is actually dumb because that would never happen in real life.
Right.
I mean, you say that a lot with movies, obviously, but this is one of those things where you're like, yeah, you're right, that would never
But that would
happen
actually-
unless we did. We could start it.
We
It
could.
wouldn't be received well.
We could. It would. I think they tried to with like flash mobs.
Right.
It didn't take.
Right.
you know.
Because it's stupid.
I actually liked watching some flash mobs.
Like
stuff.
High School Musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't go.
So I was driving again the other day, and I was stuck in traffic. There was an accident, and in my avoidance, I took a side road and ended up being in more traffic, which is 9 times out of 10 what happens. And I drove by the farmer's market on.
On Saturday.
Well, no, it's not the farmer's market. It's that. It's just a little shop off by the interstate in Sunset. It's been there forever.
Yeah.
And they had a little sign on the side, and it says, I sent it to you,
Yeah,
right?
I got it right here. It's on
It
the
says,
screen.
"Do small things with great love." And obviously my head went to immediately, that is what I used to tell my wife. My ex-wife. Hey,
I like
know
how it's from Mother Teresa.
I know you don't want to. I know. But do small things with great love.
Yeah. Interesting. You can also do big things with little love.
That's what I was like. Look, you can leave, but you're going to have bigger things out there. I hope you have enough love for them because I know you have.
You sure as shit don't have love for the small things. Yeah. I like the farmer's market. Well, whatever. It's not the farmer's. I know what
You know what? I went to the actual Ogden Farmers Market.
Ashley goes every Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And there was not a lot of farmers to be marketing. There's like one end, and the rest was like pictures of Jesus smoking weed in front of a rainbow flag.
They do. They keep all of the
Chicken legs. turkey
farm
legs.
stuff on one end, and then it gets into the more
Yeah.
what's it called? Like the stuff you make.
Yeah.
Like-
Crafts.
Yes.
Well, not crafts. That sounds. There were
Shirts and pictures and
yeah
paintings.
paintings and
Yeah.
honey. They have honey.
Honey. Yeah.
Pork.
They do have pork.
Steak. But there were farmers there selling zucchini and yellow squash.
Mm-hmm.
Why? You can pretty much go into anybody's yard and just take zucchini and yellow squash,
No,
and they'll be grateful.
they're growing them.
Yeah. Okay. So
That's
is
why your
everyone
neighbors,
else.
That's why
There's
your
no.
neighbors are pissed.
There's no one.
No, the thing is though, is that most people's zucchini and squash isn't ready yet. Like,
I
know
don't
what I
know,
mean?
man. No, it's ready.
no. Unless you're a farmer and are planting it early and then plant again.
No,
and plant again.
I just literally my dad made some nasty squash stuff the other day with the stuff that he'd grown.
Listen, just 'cause you don't like squash.
No, it's fine. But I'm just saying you can't possibly be making money selling yellow squash and zucchini during the summer here in Utah.
I mean,
They are everywhere.
I would assume that he is. Otherwise, he wouldn't be.
I don't know. Well,
know.
you know what? Let's ask him
Let's
next
ask
time
him.
we go over
We'll
next
take a
week.
microphone.
We'll take a
Yeah.
field trip. Speaking of field trips,
Yes.
we got tickets.
Yeah, I got.
You got
tickets.
tickets 'cause you're the lucky one that
Well,
manages to get on there.
I just cared.
Just scared.
No, I did. I did Artemis launch for launch to the moon.
Now this isn't the one that Johnny Kim
No.
Jong-un is going to be on.
This one is a mannequin. Literally, it's a mannequin.
Oh, they
It's-
did?
it's
They're
in the
actually putting
spacecraft.
mannequins in
Just
there?
one. Just one.
Just one guy, huh?
I'm sure they have like,
They tell you it's a mannequin, but it's actually just a knocked out person.
right. No, he's already in there.
It's a hobo.
The mannequin's already in the spacecraft.
Yeah, he's been living there. He's homeless,
Right.
Brian.
They're doing the right
They're
thing.
doing him a favor by
Yeah.
giving him a home.
You know what? That's a good idea. Can I just say, I'm sure there's someone out there who'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I'll go to the moon." What do you want me to do?
That's
You just
NASA's.
need to wear these suit
NASA
with-
takes a lot of heat for spending money, and
Yeah.
like fine.
Yeah.
We'll take the homeless people
Right.
to the moon.
Just wear this suit. It's got some accelerometers, got some thermometers
There's
on
like a 60% chance you're gonna die or never come back. It's very cold/hot on the moon.
I can imagine things in my life going away where I would say yes to that opportunity.
to go to the moon permanently.
Well, no, just on this mission, they're like, you got
Oh.
a 60% chance of dying.
Oh,
I'd be like,
no.
like if my family died, or you know what I mean?
Well, okay.
Like
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If I'm sure there's a circumstance I can imagine where I would be like, all right, let's do it. You know.
Okay.
But there are people like the people who signed up for the Mars mission with SpaceX.
Mhm.
These are people who have families.
Yeah,
And they're like,
that's
"Fuck
kind of
off,
a
see ya."
slap in the face, especially since it's so far away.
Yeah.
You're signing up now, so
I've always
should we stay married
Right.
or?
I've always thought that about the people who had the family. I'm like, it's so you know you're gonna die there. Yeah, it's worth it. Like, your kids though.
It'd be a hard time getting a job.
Your
Sit down for a
spouse.
job interview. Where do you see yourself in 10 years? Well, funny you should ask. Dead on Mars.
Dead on
Oh,
Mars.
Sorry, come again? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Elon's
hopefully we're
Elon's
alive.
taking me there.
Good chance we'll be
Elon.
dead.
Our savior.
He's actually only sending us there so that there's something biodegradable. Our suits automatically come off. But
Need
no, we're-
something to grow the poop potatoes?
Yeah. So I'm excited though, and I sent you a thing about because I was like worried, like I need to buy like a nice lens for my camera
Right, no.
and we get some nice binocs because we're 3 miles away. You know, we got the close tickets, by the way. people.
Right,
This is
right.
as close as you can get without sneaking onto the launch pad and possibly dying. By the way, did you know they let you put cameras like right near the pad, like the day before?
Oh, really?
You can go put like a motion activated, a fire activated camera.
How does it survive?
I don't know. Well, not like on the cement, but just like on the grass that's
Oh.
really close. I just saw like a bunch of chat rooms about it, and people were talking about what lens to try. But then I saw a thing that the guy was like, listen, I'm not trying to poo-poo on your idea of taking a picture of the launch, but wouldn't it be better to get like a nice fisheye and get a great selfie, like a self-portrait? I'm like, that's actually, I
It's
sent it to you. I'm
better.
like, it's a way better idea.
During the air show, there came a point when I was like, why am I doing this?
You got some really good
No,
photos.
I did, but here's the thing. So a few weeks after, Facebook suggested that I join this group called Military Photos
Yeah. Oh, man, that reminds me. Just keep going.
and Aviation Photos, and people posted all their pictures from the air show,
Right.
and they're indistinguishable from mine.
Can you sell them? Is that legal?
Yeah, but like I said, it's pretty saturated. I
yeah,
don't
but I
think
mean,
that.
you know, you've got a successful Etsy store.
Yeah.
Speaking of groups,
Mm-hmm.
we'll come back to space if we need to. I got on these right-wing email blasts a while back. I don't know how. Probably did it as a joke to myself, but now I'm stuck.
A joke to yourself.
I've unsubscribed, but they keep coming, and they always trying to sell me something or send me something for
A
free.
Trump coloring book.
This is the one I got today. Subject line. Oh, first of all, the email address is Gun News USA. Okay. Subject line: Your anti-Biden switchblade is on hold.
Cool.
Today's deal: 70% off. Biden isn't just coming after your guns; he's coming after all "quote-unquote" assault weapons. Keep reading and discover how to get your best-selling knife for less than half the price everyone else has to pay before they're banned.
I don't understand.
It's called the Black
I
Widow.
don't
It's a switchblade.
Understand. If Obama didn't take away your guns, Joe Biden sure as hell isn't going to take away your guns.
Anti-Biden switchblade.
And the president doesn't have the power to just take away your guns.
Hey, remember when
The
we
president, the type of president that they want, has that power.
Right.
If
You know, I almost get these things. I already have a switchblade, but they are a good deal.
well, I mean, you better get one.
And oh, look at this. By the way, we did a fake commercial about
Yeah.
Pocket Puss.
Yeah.
This is 100% real on my phone. The Gun News USA mark insignia. Can you see that?
Yeah.
It's a Statue of Liberty, but instead of a torch, she's holding what looks like
Well,
an,
that's so she can plow
AR.
down all the hungry masses.
it's an AR-15. Yeah, I think it's an AR-15.
It's so anti. Bring your huddled masses, and
Yeah.
so that I can mow them down with
I
my
have a
AR-15.
I have a feeling the people who run this, though, are probably dudes like me and you. Like, I bet you we could make a shit ton of money off selling knives to these crazy fucking red hatters.
Isn't that
I
the
got-
whole current Republican Party?
Yeah.
Oh, I bet we can get a crap load of votes from all these crazy red hatters.
Yeah, it's probably true. And we did have a run-in with that in Utah. That shirt company. Fuck, I can't even remember what it says. Like, lions, not sheep.
Oh yeah,
They-
which is
they-
so dumb.
They advertise the shit out of being made in USA.
Yeah.
The FTC caught them
Oh.
and fined them $200,000,
Uh,
and they have to remove that now because all of their shirts are made in China.
yeah, there's a big difference between made and printed in, because I bet they were printed in the USA.
No, like, and that's the FTC ruling. That's a law.
Uh-huh.
Is basically everything has to be done in the USA to have that mark.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. That's
Right.
that's what I'm saying.
That's why the iPhones will say like
they may have thought they were going to get away with it because
Right.
they were printed in the USA or the
I-
design was made.
I doubt it.
But the shirt is there's no shirts made in the USA. It's
no.
Indonesia
Right.
or India or China.
I guarantee they're not printing them here. I just have a feeling.
I'm probably
If you're
not.
lying about one of them, you know what I mean? Anyway. But yeah, so this is Gun News USA. Let's see what the full email is. It's newsletter at gunowner-news.com. Don't know how I got signed up, but I appreciate the free shit sometimes. I just happen to already have a Switchblade, so I don't need my anti-Biden one.
I'm so. There was a sticker on the gas pump the other day that had Joe Biden pointing to the gas price that said, "I did this." I'm like, oh my god, you people are so freaking. I'm so tired. I'm just
whatever.
like, you guys are so stupid. You're all so dumb.
Let me tell you who did gas prices.
And to call us sheep is so embarrassing and hurtful to sheep.
That's true. I'll tell you who did this. I was going to talk about this story later. This is in the Associated Press on July 29th. Just this little quote. On Friday, ExxonMobil booked an unprecedented $17.85 billion profit for the second quarter.
Huh.
And Chevron made a record $11.62 billion.
And they used it all to buy back their stocks.
I don't care why they used it.
No, I'm just saying
But
that's what they did. They're
this
not
is-
doing
is-
anything to
This
help.
is no politician.
Right.
I mean, I guess the politicians could pass laws to stop this kind of gouging, which I think Biden was working on. I feel like I heard that on the radio. I could be wrong. But this is 100% the gas companies. Chevron made a record in the second quarter.
They always
which is
do. This happened last time, too.
The second quarter was when it was the
And
most
then
expensive.
and then when demand went down, they laid off all their workers, and it's like they are the most crooked companies.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
And they don't even care. They have to have these earnings calls.
Right.
And they're just like, whatever, no one's gonna care. You guys still gotta buy our shit.
Right.
I don't know how one of them. How is there not like John's Oil? That's like, you know what? These guys are making 17 billion, 11 billion. We'll take 1 billion.
Right.
We'll take 1 billion in profit for a quarter and just fucking undercut the entire industry. How does that not happen?
I don't know. We should do it.
This sounds. I mean, I can tell you how it happens. It's price fixing, right? They're getting threatened with. You can't do that, or we'll kill you.
That makes sense.
I feel that way about a lot of industries, but this one in particular is like 17 billion in one quarter. Is crazy.
Well, they're hurting themselves in the long run because they're also seeing record sales in electric cars.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I watched a TikTok the other day that finally gave me some ideas or thoughts. Because, you know, last time we talked about electric cars, we talked about how people are always I was like, where does the electricity come from?
Right. My solar panels.
Right.
Or my windmill.
But then this one was like, well, actually, what no one takes into account is how much energy it goes into creating gasoline.
Right.
And so just to power the drills themselves is, because they're all electric,
Right.
to power the drills, it can run like all electric cars in the U.S.
Right,
It's,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're probably diesel electric or full electric, right?
Right.
Like coming from the ground. Yeah. Not to mention I mean, you could just keep going down, right?
Right.
Not the energy it takes to make the drill bits, right? The energy it takes to make the shaft.
Right.
You know.
You know, it was a 4-part TikTok, and I only got past the first part.
Yeah.
I feel like that was enough for me.
Well, you already know.
Right.
You're like, I don't need to do the math to understand the logic of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, but electric cars. You got one yet?
No.
Hmm.
No, I really want to. I still have my $100 down for my Cybertruck. That's been there for 4 years now.
Has it really been
No,
4
I
years
think it's
since the
been like-
Cybertruck?
It must have been 2. I don't know. It doesn't matter.
No, yeah,
It's not going to happen.
It will eventually.
But the Rivians are so beautiful.
Yeah, Rivians are cool.
But you know,
So is the new F-150. It's back ordered for like 10 years.
I've seen a lot of Mach-E's, the Mustang.
Oh
whatever.
yeah. I don't like the back on those, but I do like those. They're pretty
Cool. I've seen a few of those. So they're the orders
Honda's
have been
finally
ordered.
coming out with a bunch. That's where I'm probably going to end up.
Yeah, they got to get into that like 20,000-30,000 range for quality.
Yeah.
You know, and then you'll get a lot more.
Once they hit 30,000, everyone's going to get one.
Yeah.
I mean, I
There's
don't
no.
know
Yeah.
about
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
Well, especially if you have the range.
Yeah.
That's what everyone's afraid of is range. But
That's true. I mean, if you do a lot of road trips, you know, but then as soon as they're more ubiquitous, then we're gonna have quick charging stuff places.
yeah, no, it's already on the. They're already talking
Yeah.
about 10-minute charges.
They'll put like a Denny's. You know, come eat Denny's while
You gotta go to lunch anyway.
Yeah.
Grab a Big Mac and let your car charge
Right.
for a few
In
minutes.
fact, we'll give you half off your Big Mac if you charge. Right?
Oh my gosh, that's genius. You know, it's just like Redbox. As soon as I heard about Redbox, I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be huge."
Yep.
People were like, "No, Spencer, you're stupid."
Oh,
And I was like, "No, McDonald's is genius."
and Blockbuster
And they
regrets
were.
it, and
And
Hollywood Video.
Redbox destroyed Blockbuster, and then Netflix killed them all. But still, it was genius.
Remember
at
when
the time.
Netflix was mail-in?
Oh, I had it for a
Oh
while.
yeah, everybody did.
Because you could get all the crazy movies that.
I
Where
don't
else
think
were
it
you
was
gonna get 'em?
monthly back then, was it?
It
was like either or.
You
right?
could do you could do different.
It'd be like per disc.
I think I
or
had the unlimited, so as
Yeah,
soon
yeah.
as you watch it, you could turn it back, and they'd send you another
Right.
one.
Yeah, the little cheap sleeves.
Yeah,
It was beautiful.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't ideal for weekend. Like, oh,
Right.
hey, let's get a
No, you had to plan ahead.
right.
Which I actually miss those days because Ashley and I sat down. We're like, we should watch a movie. There's so much fucking content, man.
That's true.
And I scrolling through Netflix. I'm like, this all sucks. There's so much, but I don't want to watch any of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up watching a movie. I think it was on Hulu with Zac Efron called Gold, and it's super low budget. In fact, I don't know why. After watching the movie, I
Mhm.
do not know why this company was part of producing it, but it was produced by 7 different studios.
Always is, yeah.
One of them, though, the main one, was Chicken Soup for the Soul. You remember those books?
Yeah.
So I was like, shit, this is going to be a feel-good fucking, No. It was not a feel-good movie. I'm like, why would... Looking back, I'm like, why... what did they see in this movie? It wasn't bad.
Have you ever started a movie and you're watching it and you're like, oh, this is like a right wing,
Yeah.
and I have no idea what it is. That I think it's just bad acting.
Yeah.
Like they can't hire good actors, and you're just like, oh.
I still haven't watched 2,000 Mules or whatever, which is the one. What's that guy's name?
2,000 Mules.
It's dude. If you
Did
haven't
you
heard
just
of
make that
2,000
up?
Mules, it's about the election. It's that dude who went to jail. Hang on, let me find his name. All right, internet, let's go.
Does he have 2,000 Mules?
Dinesh D'Souza.
I don't
Have you
know
heard
who
of
that
him?
is, no.
Oh, dude, he's like a right wing
Dinesh.
Dinesh. Yeah, I believe he's Indian. No, it's exposed. Here's what the description: exposing widespread coordinated voter fraud in the 2020 election, sufficient to change the overall outcome.
But
I think he's the same one who made that Barack doc when he was president. I can't remember what he called it, like "World is on Fire" or something.
but
77.
where's the evidence then? Why does he just present it all and then it's not real?
So
or?
critics obviously look at it and are like, you took everything out of context here. you know what I mean? You made up a bunch of shit. Like you just basically, it's like I haven't watched it, but all the critics that I've seen their reviews are like it's just a montage of just random photos and clips and him telling you what they are.
Oh.
With no, he's the one saying what that is.
See that car across the street?
Yeah.
See it? It's got votes in it.
Right.
Where?
It could be like
in the back seat. They're in bags. I don't.
Right.
It's there.
It's like a bubble jet
It's
printer,
there.
like a
Trust
close up on a
me.
bubble jet printer that says like fake vote. So I don't know. I kind of want to watch it.
I'm a maniacal person. Like,
Yeah. I kind of want to watch it just cause, but it's also hard to dedicate time to something that you know.
It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah.
Have you ever? So there's something called St. Elmo.
It's a movie from the 80s. St.
Elmo's Fire. It's also a place, and it's also a thing.
It's it's a lot of things.
So one of my I just sent you a video. I'm gonna send another one right behind it. One of my pilot friends, who shall remain nameless because I guess you're not supposed to video while you're in the cockpit in the U.S. But
Really?
I don't know.
Oh, while you're sending that to me,
Yeah.
I almost sent you a TikTok video. It was a Southwest flight landing in Las Vegas. You
No.
saw it.
No,
I didn't know it was a sim until it hit the fucking ground.
I didn't either.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
so funny. So I'm sitting there watching it. I'm like, because this is my job to get. I'm like, how the hell did they get permission to do this?
Right. And I'm like, why are they so close to the building?
And that's why I was like, that isn't. And I was thinking, this is not a normal Las Vegas approach.
Right.
And I'm at the end. I'm like, holy shit! I
Yeah.
can't believe that wasn't real.
Like it only looked animated once the wheels hit, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
I couldn't believe how far it got me.
all right. I didn't send it to you because I'm like, he's gonna make fun of me.
No, I did the same freaking thing. I was shook.
I went to the comments and people were kind of saying the same thing. I was like, I mean, maybe we should have noticed when he was like 10 feet above the Mirage.
I know. Well, I know that they do low. They fly pretty low
then
into Vegas,
They
but
like banked into the
yeah, that's
runway.
when I was at that point. I was like, this is not.
But
this
no,
is unusual.
yeah. My first thought was my first thought was they're really close to these buildings,
Right.
and then my second thought was how'd they get the camera on there?
Right. It's
Like,
like
This must be a promo
Like,
for Southwest.
I
so
need to figure out how to do that.
So I looked down at the things to see if it was like Southwest's official TikTok.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't. It's like, this is weird, man. And then the wheels hit, and I'm like, that was
Like-
a fucking
And
animal.
I thought my boss would be so pissed if I just strapped a camera onto the back of my airplane, just put it back there. Hey, how did you get this? Well, they didn't notice. I just put it back there, GoPro, dangling the whole time.
Just on a rope.
Yeah.
I put it there, hope for the best. I don't know. Did you send these in text?
Oh, yeah. Nah, it's taking a sweet
Yeah,
freaking time
yeah,
to
you
get
did.
over there. Did you get the first one?
Mm-mm.
No, hold on. It's so anyway.
Yeah, go find that. It's clearly, I guess, a simulator, like a.
It's the new flight sim, and I need to get it. I need to get a new Xbox before I get it.
Is it using that weird? What's that new like engine I keep seeing that people are showing like the real? It looks
Oh.
like real life.
I know what you're talking about. I'm sure all the people listening probably know.
There was one I
too.
saw that was a first-person shooter,
Right.
and like that's real. That's real. And then I watched
Oh.
him reload. I'm like, that wasn't real. That was way too fast.
Well, the thing with the flight sim is they paired with like Bing Maps,
Yeah.
and they use all their data to. So not all, but a lot of the maps are like super detailed and realistic,
Right.
like the Vegas one.
Yeah.
So why is this not
I
sending?
don't know.
Okay, well, there's the other one. Maybe that'll kick
But
it
tell
in.
me about what it is. and
Okay,
I'll just-
so he shows me this video, and the first video, if it ever comes up, is the thunderstorm that they were right next to. Oh, I'm playing that, right? That's not.
So he's in the cock. Is he flying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you'd autopilot, but
Well, yeah. And so he's flying, and there's a huge thunderstorm next to them, and I guess whenever they're in near a thunderstorm or over a thunderstorm, there's so much electricity in the air that static builds up on the air, and you'll get basically, like static discharge, but it's on the windshield, and so it's like these giant lightning bolts are just popping up and down off the windshield, like right in front of you.
Like a Tesla coil. Like they're just
Yeah,
like constant. Like,
basically, yeah. It's kind of crazy. And so he sent me that, and that's not St. Elmo's fire. St. Elmo's fire is more rare because it's like this blue flame that starts coming up on the bottom of the windshield.
Okay.
And if this video will ever go through, I don't know why it's.
I remember looking up what St. Elmo's fire was when I watched the movie, not in 1985, but whenever I did. I was like, what is that really? Luminous plasma is created by a corona discharge from a rod-like object, such as a mast, spire, or chimney. All right. Corona discharge.
I don't know. I might have just sent that to your phone. It might have been your computer. I don't know.
Oh, I got it. Let's see if this.
But anyway, wow, they're not that big of folders, are they?
I don't know.
Oh, here it goes. It's sending. It's actually going through. Sent. So this one that I just sent you is the video, and it's hard to see.
All right, let me
But
flip this over to our screen.
It
here.
is
Oh wow.
yeah, so
light-
you can see the windshield light, like that's the outline of the window right there.
Oh okay.
And then that's just right on the windshield, right there. You see the big
Yeah.
the big
oh yeah. There's the edge
and
of the
then
windshield.
right here you can start to see it at the bottom. See
Yeah.
that little blue glow?
Oh, that's St. Elmo's fire.
Yeah.
All right.
And apparently that's actually really rare to have happen. The lightning on the windshield isn't that uncommon.
It's scary as shit if you didn't know.
I know, that's what he said. He's like, when I was a first officer and the first time it happened to me, I thought we were gonna die, but
yeah. You just see it. You look over at the pilot, like, God no!
what is this? All is lost.
Post that video to TikTok anonymously, I guess.
no,
Like, I found this online.
well, there's actually a ton online of actually like way better videos
So
on YouTube.
no one's obeying that rule.
Well, to be fair, a lot of them are foreign pilots. I don't know. I don't know the rule exactly.
Stupid FAA.
They are stupid, but I won't get into that. Anyway, so yeah, Google St. Elmo's Fire on airplane. St. Elmo's Fire airplane,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll get a bunch of cool stuff on YouTube. That you know the pilots they get quite the show up there.
Yeah.
More than yeah. I want to delete the message. You haven't sent it. Jeez.
You want to send as a text message?
Yeah. Anyway,
Do you know what really grinds my gears?
what?
When you're putting together a large group message
Yeah.
and everybody has an iPhone except for one person.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call out who that one person is in our group, and it's Jake Vockler.
Yeah, he's, you know,
Because,
you know what it is? Libertarians.
yeah,
It's libertarians.
it must be what it is. Because every time I'm at work, right, so my messages, I usually have my phone for watching whatever I'm watching.
Right.
And so if I'm watching something, I don't want to,
Right.
and I'm like, oh, there's a text, so I'll pull it up on my computer. It's not there. It's not there because Jake Vockler refuses to conform and get a motherfucking iPhone.
I agree with you, and I'm just as upset
Same with
about
my
it.
dad.
But his come through on my computer.
Hmm.
So
I don't know.
maybe it's a setting.
I
mean,
don't know.
They're green.
Well, I do get. That's what I don't understand is I
Not
do
his
get some
messages.
like my dad's will come through, but my work maybe it's a setting on my work computer.
Maybe. Yeah, it's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
though.
it's right
You're-
here.
You're
Look at
putting
that.
through, especially if you want to send a photo or a video, because then everybody's like, "Oh, you got to send that to me separate."
Yeah, I'm like, no,
'Cause it
you
ruins
just
the-
don't get it.
Yeah, it ruins the res. All right, I'm glad I'm not
Just
alone.
get a freaking
Just get an
iPhone,
iPhone,
man. It's not
or
that hard.
you know, Android. Figure it out.
Android is so full. You know, it's actually way better. There's so many more features. Blah 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 blah. Like, what are you talking about? What features?
They're the same people.
What my phone does everything I need to do and probably a little more.
Right.
What features are you talking about? Does it wipe your ass for you? Like, what does it do? And you know what? If it did do that, in 4 years, Apple will have perfected it, so it's not some sorry-ass version, okay? And it'll be way better.
Right.
There won't be any dingling berries after like you have now.
Right.
It'll really get in there. In fact, it'll be more like a bidet, okay? It's just...
This is the funny thing is I remember, geez, it's got to be whenever the iPhone 4 came out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know when that was.
It was 2010.
10.
I know that because I got one.
We
That
were
was it.
we were at a New Year's Eve party.
Yeah.
Actually, at Randy's house.
Uh
Jake was probably there,
huh.
but Brent came, and you and Brent came to the New Year's Eve party together. You were dating, and he had a new Android, and he was super excited to show everybody.
Right. Yeah.
And I was in the kitchen getting some dip,
Uh huh.
right? And someone walks over and he says, like, "Hey, what you got there?" And I only heard your voice, and you said, "Oh, Brent's showing everybody his not iPhone 4." And I started laughing back then.
You know
So,
who has an iPhone now?
Brent.
Brent.
Yeah.
He has for a long time. In fact, everyone that I know of, Stubbs used to be the same way. Oh, the Android, blah, blah, blah. Brent, they all have iPhones now. You know why? Because it's just they
it's just
conform.
better.
It's easier.
It's just easier.
It links everything together.
Yep.
Everyone has one. You don't look stupid with your dumbass green bubble. I'm uneducated. I have a green bubble.
And the reason I was telling people that story, though, is because this is not new for Spencer.
Yeah.
He's consistent like Bernie. He's consistent. Yeah, I just hate it. I just hate it. Just do it, man.
Oh, my Android's so much. You know, it's like the story. It's the story of, I don't know if it's a true story, but you see it pop up on Facebook every now and then where there's like a 747 pilot, and he's up there, and an F-16 pulls up next to him, and he's like, "Hey, check this out." And he starts doing all these tricks on his F-16, and he's like, "What do you think about that?" And then the pilot goes, "Well, check this out." And like 10 minutes go by, and the F-16 pilot's like, What? He's like, "I just went to the back of the plane, took a huge dump, grabbed a snack, some dinner, came back up, and I'm here again." You know, that's the difference between Android and iPhone. Okay?
It's true.
That's the difference.
Yeah,
So you
it's
go
true.
on with your Android
That's
that's
a
faster or has all the greatest features. I'll
That's
be
a-
in
no,
the
it's a
back
really
taking
good
a dump and
analogy.
getting a snack.
It's a really good analogy. People don't like the dirty details of flying in an F. That means you're wearing a diaper.
Well, yeah, or
Yeah.
just holding it.
Did I ever tell you? I think I probably shared, but I will again. I was listening to a book about all the Apollo missions,
Uh-huh.
and they had different condom sizes for
Oh.
the bladders to
Right.
pee into,
Okay.
especially on like the 14-day missions. They didn't really have, right? And they were, especially if on when they were still on the Earth, like in the capsule getting ready for launch and stuff. Sometimes they're in there for a few hours, and gravity's still a thing. But none of the astronauts, they were too proud to say what their actual size was. So they'd get the condom, inevitably, they'd get the condom that was too big, and then they'd have to sit in a puddle of their own pee.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
I'd be like, bring me the smallest one you have.
And a couple elastics.
Yeah, and a rubber band. Do you want I want a tight rubber band.
Yeah. I want it to hurt.
Yeah.
You know when you wrap a string around your pinky?
Yeah.
I want it to be like that.
Actually, forgo the condom. You know those little finger.
The finger caught?
Yeah, that actually would be just fine.
No, pinky.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
They're probably just like, bring me a trash bag.
Yeah.
Hefty, hefty, hefty. Wimpy, wimpy,
Yeah.
wimpy.
I'm not going to pee in here. 4 hours later.
We noticed the yellowing around your suit.
Yeah, it's getting old.
Yeah. Lots of sweat down there in my crotch region.
Yeah, no one thinks about that, you know. When they do spacewalks on the space station, they're usually like 8-10 hours long.
Right.
They go out there. They don't want to have to come back, you know,
Oh,
go
yeah,
back and
that's
forth.
Right.
They're out there a long time. In fact, astronaut Kelly, I read his book. He talked about getting his knuckles were bloody
Ooh.
because the spacesuits are pressurized, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
really hard to move them. You know, it's not just like you're wearing a
Right,
sweatshirt.
right,
They're
right.
pressured up. But yeah, he said your knuckles start to bleed, and
Ugh.
he had that thing in his eyes. So many stories are coming back to me right now. Like there was he was on a spacewalk,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden his eyes started watering, really bad.
Ooh.
And there's no gravity, so it just bubbles up around your eyes.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And he's like, I can't see. So he's talking to Houston.
Uh-huh.
He's still tethered, but he's like, I can't get back to the airlock because I can't see, and he's just dreading having to call off the spacewalk
Right.
because there's someone else out there with him, you know.
Mm.
And so NASA's in Houston's like doing all their shit, trying to figure out what it could possibly be. And some engineer in Houston's like, try this. Just hit the release valve on your helmet and let all the air out. He's like, I have an idea. He's like, you want me to let the air out of my helmet? And they're like, yeah, just try it. He's like, all right. So he does it. I mean, it has enough air, but it's still kind of scary.
Right.
So he hits the thing, and it vents all the air out.
Right.
And it sucks the moisture off his eyes. There was the moisture from his oxygen, from his air, reacted with a defog chemical on the inside of his visor and created like an acid that made his eyes burn.
Oh, wow.
But it worked. He let the air out of his helmet, and it just sucked all that shit
Just
out.
vacuumed it out.
Yeah. I mean, his eyes came out.
See, why can't they do that with urine? You pee a little, and then you just...
Yeah. I mean, you do when you're inside, but not in your spacesuit.
No.
They should, though. Maybe they have figured that out. It's not something they would tell us.
Do you ever... Cause
Just
you,
to have a
did
little
you,
button on your hip, just
You remember the last this last all-civilian crew that went in?
yeah. And their toilet didn't work.
Yeah, and there's been all this like secrecy about it,
Yeah.
like when they're questioning about it, like I don't want to talk
Right.
about it. Like it's some dark,
SpaceX,
horrible thing. I just want to know what really happened. Why are they so like?
My understanding,
there
I mean,
there was shit everywhere.
it really
was,
doesn't
It was
take-
all over the place.
Right.
It was a
does-
nightmare.
it doesn't
It was.
it doesn't take that much of an imagination to figure it out.
It was a snow globe of feces. Like there was no escape.
I mean, astronauts threw up all the time on Apollo. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and they had them on special diets
Mhm.
for months before the launch.
Right.
But they still had to shit in there.
Mm.
They put it on Apollo. They shat in little. It looked like a top hat that was sticky, right? So
Right.
that the brim of the top hat was sticky, so it would stick to your ass.
Yeah.
And you'd poop in that, and then it had little pellets you would crunch with your poo and shake it
Ugh.
to absorb it. But because they couldn't they could evacuate pee, but they couldn't do it with poo, so they just had to store it in like buckets.
We noticed you're coming back 300 pounds heavier.
Yeah, Tom got really fucked up, man. The Szechuan chicken. But that and I mean Apollo 13, they couldn't spare the power to let the pee out,
Oh yeah.
so they had to bag that up too.
Gross.
No, in that book it was
Just open a window.
yeah. In that book, the astronauts often refer to it as like a floating men's room. Like by the time it got back, it's just nasty, and it, it's hot. So, not for them.
I feel
the
like-
people who would go pick up the capsule after they got in the water.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, jeez.
I feel like there should be a way to make it not hot in the capsule,
Well, it's
since it's like a bazillion negative degrees.
well, it's not. When I said hot, I meant when they landed in the water.
I see.
It was actually really, the re-entry doesn't heat up the capsule very much.
Right,
The
right,
heat
right,
shield
right.
does a really good job. But as soon as they open the door, it's not that big. So all that warm,
all you
humid
do-
Pacific air
you
fills into the, that comes from really cold and dry, like really comfy and dry in that capsule to warm Pacific air. Just
They should make a candle scent out of that and sell it at the Space Center.
Astro shit.
It's like this is the scent of the capsule being opened.
Right. And it's freeze dried, so you have to rehydrate it, reconstitute it before you light it up.
It's
Yeah.
rehydrated feces.
Oh, it's nasty. It really doesn't take that much imagination to figure out what's going on.
Right.
If your toilet stops working, they're shitting in bags, people,
Mm.
and just letting it float around, and hopefully they don't run out of the tablets.
Ooh.
But when they throw up on Apollo, sometimes they wouldn't have a bag ready, and they'd have to catch it.
I feel like there should just be a hatch you can open, like a two-way hatch.
Yeah, just a little one. It's a little
Yeah.
tiny airlock.
Right.
Little tiny airlock.
And just
Throw up
put
into it.
poop in there.
Close it.
Right?
Open that door. Yeah,
I'm patenting that, NASA.
good idea. Proof of concept.
Elon SpaceX. The next SpaceX will have that, so it's not.
He's threatening people. I'll fucking kill you if you tell them about the toilet.
I know. It's just weird.
People won't go to space
Well,
if
we
there's
can't.
no toilet.
We can't talk about that. That's weird. It was weird.
Yeah.
What's going on with Luke?
It's very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to put Luke down
Oh, did you? When did that happen?
just on Friday.
Oh
and
man.
I don't even know why I put it on here.
Ugh.
Just to tell you, just to let no one. I mean, I don't know why we do this to ourselves. Why do we get animals? So Luke's our dog. We've had him for 10 years. We adopted him when he's 3. So he was 13, and he just got cancer, and we had to put him down on Friday.
Mm.
It's terrible. But we have an amazing vet who happens to be Amanda Vockler, Dr. Amanda Vockler.
Who has an iPhone?
She does have an iPhone, but she's a mobile vet, so she comes to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was very, very comfortable in his favorite spot in our living room. And, yeah, he wasn't scared like a lot of dogs. You take them, or animals, you
Right.
take them to the vet, they're kind of nervous already. So, no, it was nice, but it fucking sucks.
Well, that's sad.
Anyway, we'll dedicate this episode to Luke. He was such a good dog. Never have another dog like him, for sure. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sentimental. Like, I really don't. I just don't see it happening.
No, he was super cool.
Yeah.
Not a good guard dog at all.
No.
But,
no. He could let out a scary bark, but I don't know if he would
Yeah.
ever do anything to anybody.
yeah.
Anyway.
Huh. Well, so this is kind of a deep question that I want to ask. 'Cause I've been kind of, up and down lately, emotionally, just
Yeah.
kind of And I guess I'm not sad, but I'm just like meh in general.
Yeah.
And I started thinking to myself, well, what would make me happy?
Did I not tell you about this question?
Uh-uh.
I thought you put it on here because of this.
Oh, no.
This was one of my homeworks from my therapist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, and let me, I don't know what they said, but I want to expound on that because I don't mean anything financially. Like,
No.
obviously, if I won the lottery, life would be easier too, but I don't think that's not the root of the question. What would make you
No.
happy?
I think everybody knows that, yes, money would be nice, but lots and lots of social and psych studies have shown that number,
It's 250,000.
no, it's 70.
Oh, okay.
Now, it might have been a while ago. After inflation, call it 90. It was like 70 grand. There's no market improvement in overall happiness.
And you can have money and still not be happy. That's
look at all the lotto winners.
Very easy to happen.
Yeah.
And money is not happiness. It's
Stability,
and
which is not
on that
happiness,
same
yeah.
note, like I know that when I get down, I have it's happened a lot after my divorce, was buying things, just
Yeah.
whatever. I bought so much, just
Right.
it's all out in my shed, like a screen printer, like a vinyl cutter. There's so much stuff. I just kept buying stuff, and it takes your minds off things, and it makes you, feel pretty good for a little bit.
Right.
But it's not the same thing.
No, and it can slip into an addiction pretty quickly,
Yeah.
so it's kind of scary too. But
I bought a new car. That was pretty fun for like 3 or 4 months. I was not happy, but it gave me some confidence or something. I don't know.
It's you reaching. It's when this happens to people, you're reaching out for what you can control,
Right.
right? And unfortunately, the way our society's built is you feel like that's like the only thing you have control over. That's what I spend most of my time doing is making money,
Right.
right? So the only thing I really can control is what I do with that money. I can't control how anyone treats me. I can't control, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it sucks that's what we kind of go to, but
when you really think about the question, I don't even know if it's possible to answer because
No.
I haven't really come up with anything.
it's really
I don't know.
I've had several, 6 or 7 therapy sessions now with this guy,
Uh-huh.
right? And he's good. He's a PhD, but he always gives me a homework that we agree on. And the first one was this, but it was worded a different way.
Mhm.
It was, what's happening good in your life, and how can you influence it,
Okay.
right? And then it turned into like 2 weeks later because I couldn't answer that question. I was like, I mean, sure, things are going good. I'm not an asshole, right? Like,
Mhm.
love my wife, my kids. Like, sure, I do this podcast, which I really like. We have a band. Like, the kind of the standard, seminary question, seminary answers. But then it turned into like, what's stopping you from finding these good things? And then one of them was, well, what does make you happy? And it's hard. The things I came up with were, once again, I like playing in the band. I like recording this show. Quinn
Right.
and Ashley. Like, and he's like, that's fine. That's fine if that's what it is. What can you do to make those better? And that's when I got someone else to do the vending machine in Tremont. And I'm like, I can't drive up there anymore.
Right.
It's taking too much time, So, it's a hard question.
Yeah, and I mean, I can think of things. I don't know. I guess maybe the idea of being happy is something that we glamorize, because I don't know. I can think of times when I feel happiness, like when I was at the air show watching the planes. I felt really happy.
Yeah.
I felt really good.
Well, that's an answer then.
Right?
Someone asks you what makes
But
you happy. Planes.
Right.
Jets.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I was also thinking the other day, or the same line of thought is, it's because I was Ubering again in the morning, and I picked up this guy, definitely kind of an oddball character, and I'm asking him, what he's doing. He's like, I'm going to a anamorphic convention.
What's anamorphic?
People who dress up as animals.
Okay.
Kind of like furry, I think.
Sure.
But
Like real animals, though.
like maybe like the girls that were the horses, And,
yeah.
and
Was he dressed up?
no. Well, he was going on a plane,
Oh, okay.
so
gotcha.
he wasn't. And I was like, 'cause sometimes I'm like, man, I'm way too nerdy. I know way too much about Star Trek. I care way too much about it. But then I'm like, why? What does it matter though?
Doesn't-
Like, if it puts me in a headspace where I'm happy,
Yeah.
then
for
what
sure.
difference does it make? It's not affecting me negatively.
No. It's
so,
like
so same with this guy. Yeah, it's weird, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like, "That's so stupid, bro. You're so." But who cares?
No,
What
who
difference
cares?
does it make?
no. If it brings you joy,
Mm-hmm.
then you could answer it that way. That it makes me happy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like me with the Saturn V.
Right.
I love that we're both going to the moon launch for different reasons.
I think that I'm gonna cry
Oh, for sure.
when it goes up.
For sure.
I think that the enormous power
Yeah.
of the engines and the sounds, I think it's gonna evoke
No,
emotion.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, I'm super stoked. But I'm stoked for I just have this weird obsession with NASA trips to the moon. And whereas you kind of have this weird obsession with futuristic space travel and what that might mean for humanity.
It's also a frustration
Yeah.
because it's like, can we just do this?
They're kind of different reasons though, right?
Right.
Like I love my Saturn V Lego thing you got me. I could play with it all
Pretty
day.
Slick.
You know,
Should get one.
I don't even know what it is though. I just love it. I just like all the people who were part of it. You know what I mean? So
No, we just latch on to things.
yeah,
I don't know why. I know that as a kid, I would watch Star Trek with my dad on the weekends.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But at the time, I was like, "Oh, do we have to watch Star Trek?"
yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know why we get in these. But yeah, it's a weird question,
But you
and
gotta,
it's so much harder to answer, I think, than anyone could ever give it credit.
well, just listening to you talk about it though, it's interesting hearing you say I really like Star Trek, but you almost don't want to admit that it's something that makes you happy.
Oh, it is, but it's not. Again, it's not something that consistently. I don't wake up happy because I like Star Trek.
Right. Well, part of the problem is it's like using the word love.
Yeah.
We're very, very limited by our stupid language.
Yeah.
There's not enough words to describe different feelings.
Right.
Right. There's 18 different kinds of love.
Right.
Right. But we use the same word. And there's 20 different meanings for the word happy.
Right.
Happy can mean a general attitude. It can mean a daily attitude. It can mean in the hour. It can mean in the minute.
Right.
So the problem is we're bound by our language, and that's why it's hard, because you have to start thinking, well, what do I mean by happy?
I think maybe one thing that you could do to make yourself on the spectrum of happy is to not do things that you hate doing.
Yeah.
If you do hate your job or an aspect of your job, then I know it's cliche to say just get another job.
Well, it's not even just, right? It's not
Right.
just get another job. It's like, well, what can you do about it?
Right. And
You
there's
know?
also either figure out ways to adapt and change that thing so it doesn't
Right. Because some people
make you hate work.
for some people it is really hard to get a new job. Not maybe because of the job market, maybe because of their field,
Right.
whatever it might be. But it doesn't matter the reason. But you say just, and they immediately get turned off because it's really hard for them. So if you hate your job, start moving towards figuring that out. It can be as simple as turning on the setting in LinkedIn that says you're open to new jobs. That you can turn it off so your employer doesn't see, right?
Right.
And then you know.
I'm a big fan of the just quitting.
Yep.
I know that's not for everybody, and I know it's a terrible idea, but I also know that it worked out for me.
Yeah.
No,
it's definitely scary.
because when you go to work all day, and even if you especially if you hate your job, when you come home, you don't want to.
You don't want to do anything.
Filling out an application is hard, and transitioning to a new job is hard. Even if you hate your current job, it's easier to stay at your current job than it is to apply and go through the interview and be anxious and then be let down or whatever. When I quit Smith's, when I just walked out, no notice, just left, I got a great job at Harmon's, doing something that I wasn't qualified for at all.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing. I managed to finagle myself into another job. But it's all stuff that I've picked up along the way, and it's just. I think people are more capable of doing things. Also, it should be noted that no one really knows what they're doing in any field. And so if you're like, oh, I can't do that, I'm not smart enough, I don't know enough,
No one
I
does.
guarantee you can just fake it till you
Right.
make it. Like it's
No, yeah, I think that by and large, people are capable of a lot more than they think they are.
yeah.
Especially when it comes to job descriptions. You got to remember when a company or a recruiter puts out a job description, that's like this would be like the best of the best of the best of the best candidate,
Right.
right? So even if you don't meet 6 out of 10 of the criteria, that doesn't mean that they wouldn't interview you.
Right.
That just means we would love it if you had 5 years of experience, a master's degree, leadership experience, sales experience, design experience,
Right.
It doesn't that's just their ideal.
But if you're eager to learn and
Right.
and I don't know, sometimes people like Carmen's was total. That was, in fact, I interviewed for a different position. I don't even remember why. I had showed them an animation that I did, and they really liked it. And was like, "Oh, we think you'd be good at this e-learning job. Do you know about e-learning?"
Sure.
I know what it is.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Do you think you could learn this tool?" I'm like, sure,
Yeah.
sure." And I did.
Right.
And
I learned how to use a hammer. I mean, sure, I guess. Yeah. I've been a part of the hiring process,
Mhm.
interviewing people. I guess it might depend on the job. But in that particular job, I was way more inclined to hire someone who was like, listen, I'll do whatever you guys think will make me successful, than
Mhm.
someone who was like, I know what I'm doing. I know I'll come in here and kick ass. Like,
Mhm.
listen, I like your confidence, but until you've done the job, you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
So I'd much rather you be someone who is moldable, who's willing to learn and be coached, than
Mhm.
someone who's like, no, I'm the best. I already know what I'm doing. I don't need you guys.
It's true.
So-
When I worked at Smith's, there was a time when I was part of the hiring process, and there was a couple people that the uppers were like, "No, I don't think we want to hire them." I'm like, "No, I really like pushed for them to get hired," and it was just something about their personality. And a few months later, like, "Yeah, I'm glad we hired them." Like,
Yeah.
You gotta just. There's more than a resume, and
No, just because you have swagger doesn't mean anything really. So, but I think to go back to your question, what would make you happy or what makes you happy? I think the important thing about that question is, are there things in your life that do actually make you happy? 'Cause
right.
if there's nothing that makes you happy, then yeah, you might have something going on that you need to get treated. But if you have things that can make you happy,
Mhm.
you're still able to smile, to laugh, to feel good. You could pick up a mood card at some point during the day and answer 1 to 10 better than 7, right? Like, is there something
Yeah.
that am I still capable of being happy in a given moment?
Right. And I think maybe even people don't realize those things. And maybe someone's like, oh man, I just love boats. I like
Right.
looking at boats. I like watching boat racing.
Right. Or they
But they don't
discount them.
they don't actively
Right.
put themselves in situations to go, well, if you feel a tingly sensation when you see this, go see it more
That
often.
is the spirit.
Go to more air shows. Go to
Right.
more, if
For
you
sure.
like it, maybe it's not your career, but put yourself in a place where you get to have that the tingly
Yeah.
in
No,
your
it can. Yeah, it doesn't have. You don't have to get paid for it to be passionate about it.
right.
You know. Yeah. But I think, and you can't discount the things that make you happy. You're kind of going back to your Star Trek,
Right.
where you're like, it's kind of, why is that dumb? I don't think it's dumb, but someone might think it's dumb, or people might think it's dumb. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Don't discount the things.
This
that
isn't
matter.
high school anymore.
Right. We're actually 20 years past.
Yeah, I know. I was Ubering last night, and these people were like, "Oh, we're so old now. We're going to our 20th or our 20th high school reunion." I'm like, "Wait a minute. Oh yeah, mine's next year,
year,
so I
yeah.
guess we're all old."
Yeah, mine was this year, but I went to Garth Brooks instead.
It's probably for the best. High school is dumb.
Well, and he's not doing any more stadium shows, so you gotta go.
What if he does though?
He probably will.
There's no chance of you having a second 20-year high school reunion. Zero
I
chance
see
of
what you're
that.
saying.
But there is a chance that Garth Brooks wakes up one day and he's like, by God, I
Going
need
back
some
on
more
tour."
money.
Yeah.
I want to go do stadium tours.
But I will have a 25th year reunion.
Yeah,
30.
but 30% of your classmates could have died between now and then. There could be another Rona.
I did. I saw pics of our reunion, and I was like, wow. Our class had like 700 graduating students,
Uh-huh.
and there was like 100 people there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, it's been 20 years.
Well, yeah. No,
They were all
I
at
don't know.
Garth. What's this Big Bang?
Oh,
Don't want to talk about it anymore?
well, no. I don't even remember.
It'll just make me mad.
No. It was a TikTok that I watched
Oh.
that was about time travel, and that maybe when people time travel and change something, when they go back, there's a big bang, and that's what starts the universe.
So it's not just like something changes.
Right.
Everything restarts.
Yeah. There's so much energy that it just bam, it's a new big bang. I don't know. She explained it way better.
Huh.
I gotta.
Well, it's enough to think about it.
There's I think I freaked my sister out the other day 'cause she's been watching weird documentaries and stuff, and I was just like, oh yeah, did you know we're all in a simulation?
She's never heard the theory. Oh man.
And I was like, wait a minute, you want to hear something even more crazy? Are you just in your own simulation? Does China even exist? We're told it exists, but until you're there and you see it, it doesn't.
Right.
And then when you leave, it may not exist anymore.
Or anyone you've
Yeah.
never touched.
That house across the street, you think there's people inside, but there may not be until you go inside there and see.
The house might just be a projection for now.
Exactly.
It renders as you get close.
You can't see that. How do you know that Brigham City is there?
You don't.
Until you're there and you see it.
Yeah.
But
No.
you can look at cameras. Well, sure.
It's just like
But then you're looking at it, so that's why it exists.
it's a video game.
Exactly.
It renders as you go.
Exactly.
And shit like deja vu is when there's a little lag.
Yeah.
Little lag.
Little glitch. Anyway,
very
I think I
simple.
kind of broke her brain for a minute.
Oh,
and
it will. I mean, we've been thinking about it for 3 years now. It's one of the first things we talked about.
If a tree falls, does it make a sound if no one's there to hear it?
No, it just wouldn't fall.
Who knows?
It's not even there.
It's not even. It doesn't even exist.
It wasn't rendered.
It has to be.
When you walked up a pond where that tree has fallen,
Well,
it was,
wait a minute,
it was
though.
created fallen.
Okay. That was gonna be my thing.
It's like
Is
imagine
if
someone
you
with Play-Doh
see a tree, if you go somewhere and see a tree,
that's already
and
fallen.
and you leave, but come back, and then when you come back, the tree is fallen. What
It may have fallen in the meantime.
Did it
Depends on if the render restarts.
did the tree? Did it re-render? Is it fallen?
It may have re-rendered.
Hmm.
Imagine someone with Play-Doh actively making the landscape.
And they're just like tree over.
Yeah, and they can make it look like it disturbed a bunch of shit.
Okay.
So no,
Alright,
I don't think a bear shits in the woods either. I mean,
No.
not unless you see it.
No. Well, what if you see the poop but not the bear?
Someone put the poo there. It's rendered with poo.
Would you like that rendering with or without poo?
Let's make it real. Do it with poo. With berries.
With berry chunks in it, please. Please.
I was having a discussion about open carry laws in Utah
Mm-hmm.
with my father-in-law yesterday.
Yeah.
Because in Utah, you can open carry now as long as you're 2 physical actions away from firing. So, like, pull the slide. Turn.
No, you can. You've always been able to do that. You can
Conceal.
conceal
I'm sorry,
carry.
You can conceal. Right. As long as it's 2 actions
Is
away,
that
unless
still?
you have a permit.
Okay.
If you have a permit, you can have one in the chamber.
Right. Okay.
No permit,
No
2
chamber.
actions. Right. But this got me thinking because I've watched, like the First Amendment auditors on YouTube.
Right.
There's also Second Amendment guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's one guy I watched. He's in Ohio, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a law over there that states you can have a rifle with you as long as you're hunting or fishing. So he goes to like a city bridge with an AR-15 slung around him on his chest and fishes and waits for the cops to get called on him.
Fishes
Like he just has a fishing pole and he's fishing off a bridge.
into traffic?
No. Like
yeah.
sorry, into like a river.
like, what, are you fishing for a Pontiac or something?
No, like fishing.
There's a Camaro. Oh boy.
like
It's a real fighter today.
got me a marlin. No, like a
Yeah, I
a
got
river.
it. I got it.
I
I don't know why my head went to that. He's just
It's
on
fine.
an overpass.
Yeah.
Cars underneath.
ran into a fucking fish hook today. It's the weirdest thing.
Is that a fish hook on my windshield wiper? That just gets tore off.
Yeah, I've been dragging a fishing pole for 10 miles. But it got me thinking about, not necessarily about the laws, but just how certain aspects of our society don't keep up with each other. Namely, our open carry, concealed carry laws versus cops.
Mm-hmm.
Because you watch these Second Amendment auditors, and they're basically proving my point that I'm about to make, right?
Right.
They're saying that cops aren't equipped, and neither is the law, to deal with this. Because anybody driving down the street or walking by can call 911 and say, there's a dude with a fucking rifle in the middle of Main Street with a fishing pole, right? In Ohio. Or even here, because you can open carry a rifle here. And the cops have to go. And then they have to use their discretion about what to do. And all they have to go on is the dispatcher saying, someone called in, guy with a gun.
Right.
And then they go and confiscate the gun for the time being, which is a Fourth Amendment issue,
Mm-hmm.
and now a Second Amendment issue. They might even arrest the guy, right? And so it's just an interesting, like, what are cops supposed to do in this situation where states are making it easier and easier to carry guns in the open, but citizens continue to call when they see someone with a gun in the open? Like, is the dispatcher supposed to be like, well, is he doing anything wrong? Like,
Well,
Are they gonna start to
define wrong.
Right.
Like, I mean,
are they going to have to start to legislate over the phone because cops are busy? Or do they just take the call and hope that a cop can eventually, if someone, it depends on the neighborhood. If someone called 911, in Chicago, saw a guy with a gun. Okay, was he firing it or pointing at anyone? No, but it scared me. Okay, we'll be there in like 3 hours.
well, it's again, it kind of comes back to, what was it when we had Rona problems? Governor Cox was against mask mandates and such because they'll just say, well, we'll hope that people do the right thing.
Right.
But the problem is that people often don't do the right thing, and the right thing is to not open carry
Right.
in public with an AR-15
Right. But there will
because
be,
it scares people,
but there will
and it's unusual.
yeah.
There's no reason to do it.
Yeah.
And even, it's a yes you can but you shouldn't situation. So it's just it's broken.
And so you see it on both. Like there were people who would purposely not wear masks,
Right.
Just to, what's the word? Just to rile shit up, right? Even with
Mhm.
police. And then on the other side, there's people open carrying, just to poke holes in the logic of open carry.
Right.
And some of the cops are definitely idiots. You
Mhm.
watch them, and they're like really aggressive, totally escalate the situation.
Right.
Tackle the guy, whatever it might be. You know, and then other times they walk up and be like, "Can you just please not put your hand on the gun while you're talking to me?" You know, sure, I won't. Would you be okay if I held it? No, I wouldn't. It's my gun, and I'm legally allowed to carry it. And then sometimes it escalates, and so it's like sometimes, but then you're like, well, what are the cops supposed to do? You know, like this is why I couldn't be a cop, because if I got that call, I'd show up and be like, "Get on the fucking ground," you know. So
it's broken, and it's I don't know what you do.
How does this not come up in legislatures when they're like, we should make it open carry? Okay, what do we tell our police though?
No, it doesn't come up because they don't care. They just want.
You'd think police officers would make a stink to like their
They
leadership.
do.
Like, what are we supposed to do here?
They do. They were not. If I remember correctly, they were not in favor of the concealed law.
Yeah.
If I remember, maybe I'm putting.
It all started because we were going to a barbecue yesterday, and I dropped Ashley off at Smith's and went and parked, and she walked in behind a guy who was open carrying a pistol. He had like his sweatshirt tucked behind it, so it was very intentionally open carry.
Right.
You know? She got back in the car. I was like, "Hey, next time you see someone carrying, just slow down a tad. You don't need to be. You don't know who's fucking crazy. You don't know who's crazy. So if you see a gun, I'd rather let's just not be in the proximity of it."
There's really no reason to open carry. The only reason is to draw attention to yourself, to look cool,
Unless
or
you,
to.
for some reason, really want one in the chamber, right?
Well, you can't. Even if you open carry, you.
That's
you still
right.
have to
That's
be
right.
2
In
away.
Utah, you have to have a permit to have one in the chamber, and it has to.
And
be
we
concealed.
have the loosest laws, as far as I know. That's why people would come
I
here
think
to
Texas
get.
is
I
looser
don't
now.
know, maybe.
But
people would come here to get our concealed.
But yeah, he's walking in. I'm like, you just don't know, right?
Right.
Like most shooters, if they're using a pistol, they just look like a normal dude until they start shooting.
Right.
So you just don't know. I'm like, just if you see that, just back off. You know, just kind of.
I had picked up a Uber with open carry.
Oh man.
And as soon as he got in, he's like, "I'm so high right now," and I just took him to the smoke shop so he could buy more stuff for his vape, and then I took him back.
Man, I would have canceled that ride.
It was not worth it.
Ugh. Nice.
Yeah.
There's another example. What are the cops supposed to do there?
There's a baked guy in the back of my car with a gun.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if he's gonna.
I don't know what you
seeing
do.
shit.
That's a real catch-22 there. I don't know.
No, especially.
We'd have to ask my friend Riley.
Yeah.
I also have another friend now that's on the Layton PD. I need
All
to
right.
go on you want to go on a ride along?
Not really. No.
It's so fun though.
Yeah. It's all fun till someone starts shooting at you.
That didn't happen on mine.
Yeah, you weren't there with
Did I
Riley
tell
the
you
night
that?
he got shot.
That's true. I did tell you that Riley, the first time I went with him, he's like, "This is my AR-15. This button releases it. So if you need to use it," I'm like, "Oh."
I'm not gonna use it, man.
Like, okay.
If someone's shooting at us, I'm running. Do you have a vest? I mean, I don't know.
I did. The one call he did draw his gun on one of the calls we were on though, but it was a stolen car and it was him and like 10 other cops. So.
Yeah, there are many circumstances in which I do not favor the police.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just don't anymore. It's just not my thing. But this is an instance where I'm like, I don't know what they're supposed to do though.
Right.
I don't know how this hasn't been brought up. How has no one brought this up? How's there not been a news story, you know, about? Because there are all these. There are people who are certainly suing police departments, saying that they unlawfully detained me. All I was doing was carrying a weapon. It's my lawful right. You know.
Well, their legal argument is, "What the hell do you want us to do?"
Exactly. So, shit. Speaking of police, I posted on Instagram. I don't know if you saw. Breonna Taylor is getting some justice. I actually had lost hope in this case, but 4 police officers have been charged with her death in different charges. 2 of them weren't even there, my understanding. I have to reread the case. 2 police officers were charged with fabricating a warrant, like conspiracy, because they lied on the affidavit that created the warrant.
Mm-hmm.
about a whole list of things.
Right.
And then they tried to actively cover it up.
Right.
So they're getting conspiracy.
Didn't they
and
have
other shit.
them? They met.
Yeah, they met in a parking garage.
How did they get that on film or something? Or I don't
assuming
remember.
they got it on film or one of them admitted. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Merrick Garland had a press conference, and then I believe 2 of the cops who were there are being charged. One of them who shot through a window after the initial shooting, through a window and a sliding glass door that were both covered with shades. Just randomly fired, so he's getting charged. Anyway, I was stoked. I really thought that this was going to go nowhere, but these are federal charges, so yay.
That's
Yay for
good.
justice.
That's good.
I put a lot of stuff in the rundown.
I know. There's 3 more things. They're all pretty interesting. So
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. Here's a non-justice. Okay, this
Well-
guy.
go ahead. Yeah.
This guy has been accused by 30 women
Yeah.
of sexual assault. He's a quarterback, so it was during massages that he would. I don't know what he would do, but the judge or the let's see.
This isn't over.
No, it's not.
I don't know if you've read or
know
know
they
further that
right.
the NFL is appealing and the NFL's going to go for more.
Right. The
And they
discipline-
kind of are the people that make the final
It's
decision
true.
regardless. So
The disciplinary officer in charge said it was the most egregious most egregious case than any other reviewed by the NFL. Anyway, he settled like 23 lawsuits. Never admitted anything, just settled them.
right.
And they suspended him, not the league, some adjudicator,
Arbitration, yeah.
for 6 games.
Right. There's a lot. I don't know. There's a ton more to this story. I don't know how much you know about
No, I mean, I just knew about all these
his
things.
contract and
I've read about it first when the Cleveland Browns traded for him, and it was like,
Oh.
what are the Browns thinking? This guy.
well,
is
they signed him, and they're paying him the most ever.
right.
And that pissed off all the other owners. The owners are legitimately pissed,
Okay.
which is why they think that he's going to get a full
Well,
year suspension because all the owners want the Browns owners dead. But they did a little sneaky thing in the contract because it's all guaranteed money.
right.
But
It doesn't happen in the NFL very often.
it has been lately, but you're right. In the past, it's not. But for the first year, this year, they put it at $1 million, so he wouldn't be losing any money
Okay.
because you don't get paid when you're suspended.
Right.
So the most he's gonna lose this year is
$1
$1 million.
Wow, that's fucked up.
It's
man.
pretty sneaky
Oh, it's
because the Browns.
so the Browns knew.
Well, they all yeah.
I,
But
I,
Houston is the one that they're really looking at because they're the ones that kind of let all this happen.
Sure. I mean, obviously, this is a case of a players' union versus the league.
Right.
I mean, I think the league should just kick him out and never let him play
Some
again.
people, there's a lot of people that think that should be the case just because of the problem is there doesn't seem to actually be a ton of evidence. It's just
Which often is
just
the
hearsay
case. Right.
or I don't know
Not
if hearsay,
hearsay, but
testimony,
it's
him versus them.
One word versus another, except it's like 30 women.
No, and that's
But this is often the case with sexual assault,
right.
right? There's usually not a lot of evidence.
Right.
So I thought it was laughable when I saw this.
Yeah.
It's like 6 games?
Hopefully
That's not even half a season.
no, it's not. I think that the least he'll get is 12 games. People are hoping for a year though, the whole year.
Yeah.
And whatever else happens with the cases that he hasn't managed to settle.
It's really just I just wanted my 2 cents. Like, this guy just shouldn't be allowed to play.
Probably not. And hopefully he gets in there and just bombs. He is with the Browns, so it's not like
It's true. I already talked about that one. Let's talk about Alex Jones for a second.
yeah.
Most people probably know about his lawsuit with the parents of Sandy Hook, but that's not what article I shared here to our rundown. This one was because of his lawyers who accidentally leaked his phone.
His phone?
Like, they accidentally sent his whole phone to the prosecution.
Oh, really?
Did you not see these clips?
No.
His attorneys, I don't know if it was an accident or not, but they sent the contents,
Why
the
would it-
entire digital content of his phone to the prosecution. And the prosecution waited to see if the defense would fight it, saying you can't use it, it's privileged, blah blah blah, and they didn't fight it. So the prosecution was able to use all of his text messages
Why
against
didn't
him.
they send? Why?
There's a whole bunch of conspiracies now that the defense is really against Alex. So if you didn't see, he got hit with I think it was $4 million on an initial decision by the jury.
For just one, this is just one of the cases.
Just
the 4
one
million
family,
was.
yep. And then $45 million in punitive.
Right.
So $50 million in one case.
But there's still more cases
There's more
too.
cases to come. So that's actually there's a lot of shit that this trial was hilarious, and there's a lot of TikTok videos you can watch that is pretty funny because the prosecution just laid into it.
So, what? So, is this just slander? Is that what? Is that what he's being tried as? Like, I guess my big question
it's
is
a defamation trial.
Is why can you not sue someone like Donald Trump for pushing election fraud and get $45 million out of him?
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know the law well enough for defamation.
And why can I'm not by any means taking Alex Jones' side because he's an awful person.
Yeah.
But if we wanted to come on here and make up stuff, I don't. At what point do we lose? I mean, isn't there First Amendment
Well, that's what he's claiming, but that's the interesting thing about defamation. The First Amendment only applies to the government.
Oh, okay.
Right, and that's the same as any amendment. It only applies to someone acting on behalf of a government, depriving you of any right.
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 Okay.
But this case, I think, was more about he told his listeners to go to their house and to torment them.
Oh, right. Okay. That makes a
with
lot more sense.
along with plastering this fake Sandy Hook. But so the thing that's interesting though, we've made fun of InfoWars a lot.
Oh yeah, it's terrible.
I didn't know. I knew a lot of people watched.
Yeah.
I didn't know that
Yeah.
according to this leaked stuff from his phone, okay,
Uh-huh.
emails and shit. At one point in 2018, InfoWars was making $800,000 a day.
How? Like, I don't understand. Just on commercials for these weird
I think all of it.
protein
I
powder.
mean, he sells that shit, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I don't know. But they said it was during CPAC in 2018. But
Did you see?
I'm like, this not. So I was like, how many employees does InfoWars have? And I just Googled it, and I think it said like 1,000, which seemed really high to me. You know. But I was like, if they're making $800,000 a day, I know that's a good day, but they should be sued for a lot more.
Yeah,
than
that is my biggest upset or annoyance with this is that I don't think it'll bankrupt him.
No,
Even after everything,
no.
I think he'll be fine.
So InfoWars declared bankruptcy during the trial,
Oh, okay.
but I'm pretty sure this complaint implicates Alex individually.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if InfoWars is bankrupt.
Right.
You know, you owe the money. But they sued these parents sued for 150, so they got essentially 50 million instead of 150, which was the damages they sought. But I just couldn't believe that. I was like, I don't know. To me, it's like the same as the Onion, you know. And I would be amazed if the Onion was making $800,000 a day.
They don't make anywhere near there because they had to shut down their. They were struggling for a while.
Right. But it's I guess. I just can't imagine. Like, people are spending a shit ton on these supplements that Alex sells, I guess.
But I don't know.
And bumper stickers?
I mean,
I
it's
don't
got to
know.
all be advertising, right?
I guess.
I
I've
don't
never
know.
watched his show long enough to see, other than his supplement advertising, what else he does.
Right.
You know, maybe on his website. Because he got pulled from YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. Like, he doesn't.
Right.
He's banned from all those.
Did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene's crazy
Her Christian nationalist thing?
in the cage, in the cell?
No, I didn't see it.
I don't.
What was she visiting the
Okay.
January 6th prisoners?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it was it was like cosplay. Hold on, let me
What are
send
they?
you. No, it's
What's that?
no, it's exactly as freaking weird, and maybe this guy explains it better. I just sent you the YouTube link there.
Okay. Let me see if I can get it.
Hey everybody, it says
This guy, it's 5 minutes long. I don't want to watch the whole thing.
Lead us not to tempt. What is saying the Lord's Prayer?
Oh, start it over.
Okay.
Did it? Did it?
Turn it up.
I'm up. It's you.
Okay, stand by, everybody.
It's you.
Stand by. It started to play, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought so.
Sound. Output. There we go. All right, might be kind of loud here.
I'm still got nothing.
with this tremendous week that
There we
we have had, with the Inflation Reduction Act well on its way towards passage, and with the tremendous
This
jobs
is
report
Midas
that we
Touch.
received earlier today,
Is that his name?
how
Yeah.
do
think it's
you
his-
think
his page.
Republicans are handling today? Check this video out.
Those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us
So
from evil.
Okay, we got to say what's going on.
there's a jail cell, like a built-up jail cell in the middle of this conference room.
It's CPAC. They're
It
at
is CPAC, yeah. And there's a prisoner in here, and it's supposed to be Josh something, one of the guys that actually
So there's people,
contributed or
Okay.
that was helping the investigation.
people on the outside of the cell literally holding their hands, both hands up, reciting the Lord's Prayer.
And Marjorie Taylor Greene is inside this with a fake prisoner who's wearing a MAGA hat.
Okay, let's see what she... Yep, she's kneeling in front of
sucking
holding
his-
We trust in you. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and the snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, Prince of heavenly host, by the power of God.
And there's people
cast
all
into
around this
hell
guy,
Satan
like
and all
holding.
evil
It's like
spirits.
a.
Release this bondage that's going on in our country and upon Brandon. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Brandon.
Amen. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Okay, so is that a fake Brandon?
I think so.
Let's go, Brandon.
Does he? Does Midas Touch
Let's
explain what's
see.
going on here anymore?
Depicting an actual federally charged January 6th rioter in a cage wearing an orange jumpsuit and all, Marjorie Taylor Greene kneeling in prayer in front of the prisoner reciting the Lord's Prayer. I mean, would you want to
Okay.
listen to him for a sec?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Just Google it, man. It's
That she leaves the cell. So basically, this is just an actor they hired,
right,
or maybe it's someone a protester, but he's pretending to be in jail at CPAC
right.
to bring attention to the actual rioter,
Yeah, I guess.
insurrectionist, who was jailed. Oh man!
It's
of all the times they've called
it's
on
so culty.
of all the times they've called on Michael the Archangel, and he's never appeared.
I know.
You'd think that at some point they'd move
I don't understand the.
this is weird. I mean,
I don't understand how you can relate Christianity
to insurrection.
to this.
You know,
I don't. Oh, here's
Because-
actual news on it.
because you
Here's-
told me you were watching The Circle of Evil. I started watching it.
oh
again.
yeah.
This is worse than.
It's
This is worse. Maybe not worse. Like it's going to end up worse. Like I don't think we're headed toward another Holocaust. But it's worse in the stupidity of the people.
yeah.
Like I think these guys are. I think these people are dumber than Germans were. You
Yeah,
know? Like-
no, for sure. There's a real news.
Oh, you
The
sent me the
Washington
news.
Examiner
Okay, let's see.
that talks about it. Andy Biggs heckled by CPAC.
Okay, January 6th riot defendants were painted as victims. He attended. This is about someone named Straka. Brandon Straka.
Right.
He told the conference that he attended the riot and was on the steps and was later arrested and held on felony charges. He attended the conference with what he called performance. Oh, it's actually him.
Oh.
He's out on bail. Okay. Sitting in a cell while crying, accompanied by audio recordings of the riot defendants describing their arrests. Okay. I see what he's doing. So he's actually on. He just must be out on bail.
The crowd watches him as they listen on headsets. This is from the Daily Mail in the UK. So this is what UK people think about us. A crowd watches him as they listen on headsets to the testimony of other people who were also arrested for their part in the attack. Then, just when it seemed things couldn't get stranger, right-wing firebrand Marjorie Taylor Greene arrived to take things to the next level. She was led into the 8-foot-high cage where she kneeled and prayed with the inmate. A drain struck a 45 spoke with DailyMail.com at the end of his performance. He explained that he wanted to highlight the stress and suffering of people prosecuted for minor crimes. Minor crimes.
It's a felony, man. Yeah. Oh, look at this.
What a dumbass.
Someone's calling him out, though. Apparently, Brandon Straka cooperated with the FBI.
Yeah, that's what I had thought I heard as well. So
he provided information about right-wing Stop the Steal activists.
You look at these people crying.
Unbelievable.
I don't know.
I mean, like I said, this isn't. This isn't like
the MAGA mall. Look at this. Look at all this Trump shit.
You watching like the Circle of Evil. This isn't like a square of like 100,000 people, doing Zeke Heil. These are dumber. These are
for sure.
Like this isn't even the insurrection was definitely groupthink, right? An element of groupthink took over. This is not a pass for any of them, by the way. They still should be charged, but it was definitely an element of groupthink that happened that day, right? This shit. This is not. I don't know what this is. Just stupid. Like you bought a ticket to CPAC. So you can.
I don't know how you can watch this.
You can go visit
and not feel
conservatives.
icky about being a Republican, and not just feel like, what in the hell is going on here?
So weird, man.
What is going on? What is this?
It's really weird.
It's so strange.
Like they're just like, yeah, you buy a ticket to CPAC thinking I'm going to see conservative.
They're
speeches.
treating this man like he's Jesus. Like
yeah,
he's more
he
than
may
Jesus.
as well have a cross.
I mean, I can't. I don't understand.
Wow.
I don't understand how. I just like someone to watch that and explain to me.
What the fuck?
This is
going
your
on?
party, right?
We don't know any Republicans. Well, I guess maybe we do, but people know us, so they don't really tell us now because of the show.
I just like how do you see that and not go, oh no, I might be part of something that's
right
a little out of control right
now. So
now.
the question, we live in Utah, so maybe we have some Utah Republicans who listen. Okay, Marjorie Taylor Greene is friends with the likes of Mike Lee, Burgess Owens, Chris Stewart.
God, I hate Mike Lee so much.
Blake Moore. These are all representatives from Utah. They're friends.
Yeah.
So are you going to vote for Mike Lee and Burgess Owens and Chris Stewart and Blake Moore? You know what I mean? They may not be doing this shit, but they're friends. And they defend.
Mike Lee put on like some Book of Mormon cosplay.
That's true. He compared Trump to Moroni.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it was Moroni. Maybe it was Helaman. I can't. It doesn't fucking matter. But so if you're listening and you are a Utah Republican or a Republican somewhere else, and your representative stands up for these guys, why are you voting for them? Like you're that's really just an ideologue at that point. Like you're not.
I just don't understand. I don't understand how. How do you think January 6th wasn't a big deal? How do you just like throwing it off? You're like, oh yeah, shit happens. Sometimes the government is almost overthrown. Right. No big deal.
It's just like the putsch.
It is. That's what I'm telling you. I was watching Circle of Evil. The first couple episodes are so, and this is done well before. This is 2015 and 16 is when it was made.
What city was that in? Munich?
Yeah.
So if you don't know, in 1921,
sure,
the Nazis, led by Hitler and Göring, tried to they committed a coup in Munich and almost did it. They had a bunch of leaders held hostage. It was because one of them left. Göring left, and then the army showed up and shot a bunch of people. But if you don't know that, Hitler was part of an attempted coup in 1921, like 15 years before World War II.
I think if you open your mind just a tad bit and watch the first couple episodes of The Circle of Evil
on Netflix,
and you can see how incredibly this series is not. It's not right wing It's not. It's
no.
it's just history.
It's like the history.
It's a
channel.
historical show.
It's not even History Channel.
And it was made well before Trump was president,
Yeah.
well before years before January 6th, and you see the similarities
between like Bannon
between
and Goebbels.
Goebbels
Yeah.
and Bannon and Tucker Carlson.
Michael Flynn would be like the Goring.
Yeah.
Like the war
like
guy.
these
Yeah.
characters, it's like they're reincarnations of these
It's
same
amazing.
people, and it's and
So there's someone
just bear
who's-
in mind this was done well before anyone even knew who Michael Flynn was.
And by the way, all these guys, like let's say the leader of the Oath Keepers or the Proud Boys goes to prison. Okay. Hitler too went to prison, and just a
true.
couple years into his term, he didn't even serve years, did he? Maybe a couple. I can't remember. But shortly into his prison term, he resigned from the Nazi Party just to make sure that he could get out of prison earlier on good behavior.
Right. And
but he was still very much
there
the
were
leader.
there were different factions of the Nazi Party.
Just like the Oath Keepers,
SS,
the Proud
the
Boys,
yeah,
SA,
like
the Gestapo. Yeah.
it is incredible the similarities.
My point being is that
and
one of these guys could go to prison for like 10 years.
right, and come back.
and be the Hitler.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's I don't know how Nazis. I hate to have to break this to people. Nazis are right wing. I know
Very
that's
much.
like I know that the right wing likes to be like those Democrats are Nazis. Explain to me how.
No.
How
Hitler literally killed and had his people murder on what was that? The night of what was the long knives? What was
Right.
it called? The night of the long knives?
yeah, I
That's what they
think so,
call it.
Yeah.
When he had a bunch of his political opponents killed, like murdered, and they were communists and socialists and left wing.
Right.
they weren't
I don't understand. Like that is Hitler was right wing, very right wing.
Yeah.
And sorry
Yeah.
to have to like, and you know what blows my mind even more is when people are like, it was Antifa. Antifa is
Well-
evil. Do you know what Antifa
Right.
stands for?
Right.
It's anti-fascism.
Right.
Do you know what fascism is? It's liberals. No,
It's Nazis.
You dipshit. It's Nazis. It's Hitler.
Right. Right. No, it's so frustrating. I don't get it.
Yeah.
These guys are crazy. This story will piss you off.
Do you want to talk about sex abuse before we go to break?
Yeah, I posted to Facebook about this. I don't have a lot of people who really they don't like me on Facebook anymore. I have a lot of friends because of the show that I went and friended a bunch of people.
Right.
Right. But I think they all unfollowed me years ago. But I posted about this because this was in the Associated Press. Pretty big spread. You may have seen this.
They've been coming at I keep
Yeah.
getting notifications about it.
This has been on TikTok quite a bit. A lot of people picked it up because it was on the AP. It was kind of a big deal. Let me just give you a rundown. This is about sex abuse in the Mormon Church. So this is what I posted. So this is a recap of this really long story. Years of horrific sex abuse, including an infant, on 3 girls perpetrated by their father. He admitted his abuse to 2 of his bishops, or his local church leader in the Mormon Church, over the course of several years. Church attorneys at a law firm called Curtin McConkie manage what's called the Bishop Helpline. This helpline is staffed by social workers, so they say, but they work for Curtin McConkie, this law firm, who is really just there to make sure the church isn't held liable. They told these bishops to not call authorities or they could be sued. Okay? On 2 separate occasions. By the way, it should be noted that these social workers, every single day, delete all of these calls. Okay? And now it's also been found in sealed documents that Curtin McConkie does not report to any subcommittee of the church. It's not like part of LDS Social Services or anything like that. They report directly to the First Presidency and have since 1995 when this hotline was set up.
Right.
So here we have a law firm that is protecting bishops, telling them not to call the police or authorities, and they report directly to the First Presidency. Okay? So I don't really know how much more I need to say about that, but I have some highlights here. These bishops were told, this is a quote, "You absolutely can do nothing." When this father came and said, "I am actively abusing my daughters. I record it, I post it to the internet." That's how he got arrested, by the way. It wasn't because of the church.
Right.
He eventually got caught because he sold it to some dude in New Zealand. New Zealand sent it back to the U.S. and Homeland Security arrested this guy.
Right.
Right. Their attorney, the bishops and the church are being sued now. And their attorney says they didn't do anything wrong. They didn't violate the law. This is just a money grab, which is just amazing to me.
Well, the church couldn't afford to pay anybody
Right.
off.
But I wanted to talk about Arizona. This happened in Arizona.
That money's earmarked for Jesus.
Right. We'll talk about Arizona and their law, because every state has different reporting laws. It's true. So here it is. Arizona's child sex abuse reporting law and similar laws in more than 20 states that requires clergy to report child sex abuse and neglect, says that clergy, physicians, nurses, or anyone caring for a child who, quote, reasonably believes a child has been abused or neglected has a legal obligation to report the information to police or State Department of Child Safety. So that's pretty clear. But it also says that clergy who receive information about child neglect or sex abuse during spiritual confessions may withhold that information from authorities if the clergy determine it is reasonable and necessary under church doctrine. So this is where I have a problem with the bishops.
Right.
I understand what Curtin McConkey's job is, and we'll talk about them in a second. But I don't understand these bishops. These are grown men.
Right.
In positions of authority. They can look up what Arizona's law is. They should know. And it says that the clergy, meaning them personally, can determine if it's reasonable and necessary to not tell the police under church doctrine. Now, I was a practicing Mormon for a very long time, and I know of no church doctrine that would prevent you from telling the authorities about sex abuse.
D&C 627.
Right. So I want to talk about first, I would like to start a movement here. Curtin McConkey has 91 Google reviews.
Oh.
2.8 stars. I would like to get that
down
to 1 star, if we could.
Okay.
Kirton. That's Curtin McConkey, MCCON.
It's not Kurt and McConkey.
No, it's Curtin, Kirton McConkey, and they're in Salt Lake. Please go leave them a Google review. And then the attorney representing the church in Arizona works at a firm called Osborne Maledon. I don't even know if I said that right, but Osborne, Osborn, and then Maledon. Maledon, I don't know. They only have 6 Google reviews.
Oh.
So I think we could start a movement here.
Surprised there's no, past prophet names in there.
Right. So these guys are in Arizona. This is the attorney who said that these kids, that what they're doing is just a money grab. These children who were abused by their father.
Right.
When they were, one of them was an infant, and he recorded it.
Right.
And uploaded it to the internet. These kids are it's just a money grab. By the way, their mom went to prison. Oh, I didn't say this. After this guy got arrested by Homeland Security, he killed himself in jail, and the mom went to prison for 2 years.
Right.
So kids are living with family or in foster care. They're suing. This attorney says it's a money grab. So go leave them a review. Osborne Maledon, Maledon. Only 6 reviews.
So I think my biggest concern is that the bishop, the law says if they can choose whether they want to or not.
Right.
Or whether they should or not. That's a problem in and of itself, I think, with the law. But
sure.
Moreover, what human being is like, I'm not going to tell the cops.
Right. That's
I
my
don't
problem.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to tell them. The
Everyone,
church told me I shouldn't.
Right. Everyone named in this lawsuit.
The church really doesn't have a lot of ground to stand on here.
No.
Their statements have just been complete and utter BS.
And this is not like Newsmax. This is the AP.
Right.
I check the AP is probably the news network I check the most. You know, I check KSL, our local news, just for local stories. But AP.
You know what's completely completely absent on KSL?
This story.
Right.
So AP, I saw this on I think it was Thursday or Friday morning.
How do you justify that? It's on every other news station here, but KSL's just like, oh, we hadn't heard.
Right. By the way, KSL's owned by the church. You should know. So, yeah, this is big news. This is quite the spread. I'm sure that I'm sure the AP weighed a lot of legal.
Well, it's not
interests.
like the AP has anything to gain by.
No, but these guys have a lot of money,
Yeah.
right? And you can bog someone down if you really want to. So this is some shit, though. I put very clearly and explicitly in my Facebook post that you can't use imperfect men here.
Right.
Because this helpline was set up by the first presidency, ostensibly by Jesus himself. And if you think that this is what Jesus meant when he instructed the first presidency to create this helpline, we need to make sure that kids don't get justice because the church might look bad. I want you to consider where your money is going. It might not be your tithing that directly pays for this, but the church got money in only one way. The church has only ever gotten money in one way, and that's donations.
Well, now they get it from their land. And
Well, but how did they get that land?
right. Yeah. I mean,
Everything the church has initially was donated from members.
Yeah.
Right? And you're continuing to prop them up with continued donations.
right.
Just saying. These guys are defending.
Well, when Jesus comes back, he needs to have a bigger net worth than Elon Musk.
Yeah, well,
It's necessary.
right now, it's at least they're worth more than Elon Musk, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Way more, probably. Definitely way more liquid.
Right.
Liquid Elon's only got like 3 billion. The church has 100.
Right.
So,
Yeah, not a lot of high ground for them to be
No.
on. All their statements have just been kind of in bad taste.
yeah. Well, and
you know, the best thing for them to do would be like, yeah, yep,
shit.
yeah, we screwed up. We're gonna make some changes to our doctrine.
Well, everybody I know
I
lots
mean, what are
of
they
members.
so worried about? What is it happening so much that they
Yes, so it was. It is. First of all, let me say it is, especially in Utah. In fact,
Right.
I ran across a stat yesterday that nationwide, the running statistic right now is 1 out of 5 women will be sexually assaulted at some point in their life.
Jeez.
In Utah, it's 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3.
Wow.
Now, don't really know. There's only one. There's maybe several denominators, but the really big common denominator is the church.
Right.
Right? So a lot of members were pissed at the Catholic Church cover-up. This is no different.
Yeah. It's the same.
This is the same. Because I know that bishops are also perpetrators.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same as a priest. Right?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the same. For all the members out there who were too scared or pissed off to watch From Under the Banner of Heaven, fine. Read this story on the Associated Press. They uncovered 12,000 sealed documents.
Well, that's just one person's opinion, is what they'll say. That's what I heard a lot with the banner. Well, that's just one side of history. It's
the
like,
AP
well,
here,
I guess.
the AP here simply chose victims to focus on. They found enough documents to see that this was a systemic problem, because it is systemic. Every single bishop in the church, at least in the United States, is directed to Curtin McConkie if someone tells them something like this. If I went to a bishop and said, I'm abusing my daughter, their first call would not be to my wife, would not be to authorities, wouldn't be to anybody else but Curtin McConkie. And Curtin McConkie would say, what do you know? Because if you know too much, we're fucked. You know,
Yeah.
you just send him home, don't tell anyone, and we'll, just wait to hear from us. And whoever took that call, I need you to delete that call right now. I don't know, how's that not obstruction of justice? I don't get it. It might be, quote, hearsay, right? But I think a lot of us misunderstand the legal binding of hearsay. Like, this stuff is still admissible.
Right.
Oh, this one made my blood boil.
It's sketch, man. It's hard to defend, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. We need to take a break.
Yeah.
That was long.
Yeah, it's normal.
Was it?
Yep.
All right. When we come back, we got a couple random headlines. You know what we should mention?
The show.
This
Next
weekend,
week. This weekend.
Friday,
Friday.
at a time,
At a time. I'm just going
which
to echo
I
everything.
I think the time is
7-ish. 7-ish. August 12th, Orem, the Boardwalk,
Right.
7 p.m.-ish.
I believe we're playing
There's, I think,
in that.
four,
We're
four
playing
bands?
somebody. Yes.
4 bands.
I think
we're,
so, yeah.
We're playing in the middle.
I believe yes.
Rejected Takeoff. If you haven't listened to us, all streaming platforms.
Check it out. We're gonna try to not suck this time.
Oh, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun.
We're bringing the lights and the fog,
Oh man,
and hopefully our bassist is upright, but we'll see.
you can hear this song that's playing behind us. You can hear
It's
this
true.
song.
It's better live.
It's way better live.
Yeah. All right. All that and more when we come back.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Hey, not sure if you guys were paying attention, but Rejected Takeoff's playing a show on August 12th in Orem, Utah at the Boardwalk at 7 p.m. Be there. We'd love to see you.
Be there and be square.
Maybe instead of the band, we'll just record a live episode of the show. We could switch it up.
Could do both.
Our bandmates might.
We
I
need
mean,
to,
whatever.
We need to remember to promote the podcast there.
That's true. We are.
We got to be funny.
Or talk about, news that pisses people off. What do you guys think about the church down here in Orem?
Oh,
that's
man. Utah County. It's weird how much different Utah County is than here. And
It
it's the
is
same
weird.
state. It's not that far away.
But so many good bands
It's true.
have come out of Utah County. The Used, Neon Trees,
Just the used.
The Used, Imagine Dragons.
They're more of a Vegas band, but Utah does try to claim them, or they do claim them because of they played a lot of shows at.
Velour. Yeah,
Velour.
they paid off the venue for the owner.
Oh yeah, they did that. Neon Trees.
Yep.
Is that it?
I'm sure there's more, but yes, those
Oh,
are
the Killers.
the Killers-ish. He was from Nephi. Brandon Flowers was from
Yeah,
Nephi.
they're another Vegas kind of band, but they
Yeah.
do have some roots there in Provo.
We should become a Vegas band. Maybe that's what it takes.
we just
Just change it.
Where in Vegas do you guys live? Ogden?
The Los, the one place.
It's Eastern
North-
Vegas.
Eastern Vegas.
Northeastern Vegas.
Yeah.
Salt Lake.
Why are you asking? Why are you asking? Fuck you, man.
We should try to play a show in Vegas. We should do that. I
Well,
saw.
once we play a show, we can say we're from there.
That's true. That's where we got big. Was in Vegas.
Yeah.
I saw a band play. A local band just go to Denver. You want to go to Denver to play a show?
Sure, I'd love to go to Denver.
Well,
Mini tour.
Toronto.
No, listen,
What?
you can work remote if you want to.
Yeah.
I work only remote.
Right.
Ethan needs to be a remote doctor. Randy can just tag along.
Could be a remote electrician.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
And
Hey, move the wires there. No.
don't touch that one. Red, green.
Another one of my assistants is dead.
But then we could go on tour
Yeah.
and work from the bus or van or whatever we have.
More bands. I wonder if bands are starting to do that more now.
Why wouldn't you?
I mean, like mid-level bands.
I think it's to a point where we tell Ethan and Randy, if you guys can't work remote, sorry.
Find other people who can.
Yes, we're going to go on tour.
But they're so talented. No, I just made it sound like we're like me and Bryan are so
Just
like
made it sound like he was being a jerk.
yeah, but
No,
they're
we're
we're all pretty terrible.
It's true. Yeah.
A Canadian man who found a stick of string cheese in the refrigerator of his new home offered the snack up for trade with a large billboard ad in the middle of downtown Toronto. The billboard, erected this week in Yonge Dundas Square, offers up a single marble-flavored stick of Black Diamond cheese string. For trade, 1 cheese string, the billboard reads. Accepting trades for 1 cheese string, marble flavor, still in original packaging. No lowballs. I know what I have.
Marble flavor.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I thought Marlboro.
Marlboro.
It's it's got that full flavored tobacco.
The menthol.
Angel Domingo, the man behind the billboard, said he found the stick of cheese in the refrigerator of his new home in Toronto. He said he has experience using resale websites to trade items, including so he knows how to use eBay. Way to freaking
resell
I like how
website
he has
items.
experience. Like you need something to. I have a bachelor's degree in eBay and classified listings online. I studied that in college. Domingo said he had already received multiple offers for the cheese. I think the most anybody had to offer me was they offered me 2 Persian cats.
Really?
He should keep trading up. He gets the Persian cats, sells the Persian cats for something, or trades them for
Yeah.
something. Next thing you know, he's got a house in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
He keeps trading on.
Why not? I actually saw a YouTube kid doing that.
Yeah.
He, like, started with a penny, and I stopped watching when he got to like a bike. He traded up to a bike.
Next thing you know, he's in a Ferrari.
Right.
We should try that and see how far we can get. It's still edible, and it has months until it's expired, and he hasn't accepted any offers yet. So,
All right.
yeah, if you're interested, then I guess learn how to use eBay or something. I don't know what he's using, but
I am trying to use Google, and it won't let me. It says my connection's not secure or not private. Are you monitoring my computer at your home here?
no.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. I don't need it, I guess. I was just trying to find pictures of the
What
stories you're talking about.
what
The normal one? L thing?
Cars 5?
Yeah, that's your Wi-Fi.
Huh.
Whatever. It's all right. Go on. Next random.
How much is Zuckerberg worth? When camp counselor Ali Tarantino was flipping through a magazine years ago, he came upon a familiar name, Mark Zuckerberg.
F. Zuckerberg. Mark. Fuck. Zuckerberg.
I don't know if that's correct,
I
but
thought maybe he changed it.
okay.
Back in camp. That's
He rifled through boxes of memorabilia in his basement, running his fingers over old photos, newspapers, and bus maps before finding a baseball card featuring a very young
what?
and
Why
voluptuous
what's this guy's name?
Mark Zuckerberg. This guy's name is Ali Tarantino.
His name is Ali. I mean, that's fine.
I think it's a his. The picture is a man with a
It
beard.
kept saying he in the.
But apparently, 3 decades later, Tarantino is hoping that a signed baseball card featuring one of the richest men in the world will bring a fortune when he puts it up for auction next month. Luckily, this man also has some experience in selling things online.
Listen, he's trying to keep the camp alive. Okay. The Zuckerberg money ran out.
So yeah, he found a baseball card that I'm sure it's just, when I was in Little League, they did this once. They give you printed a crappy baseball card and gave it to you.
Right.
So yeah, it totally is Mark Zuckerberg. It looks like him and everything.
We'll have to do a
It's
follow-up.
it's a black diamond. I don't know. It's rated pretty highly.
Tops. We'll have to do a follow-up random.
Yeah,
headline
I know.
when this sells. We should make predictions.
Oh, this guy still works at the summer camp.
I'm telling you, he's doing it to pay for the camp. How much do you think? What's your over/under for a Mark Zuckerberg youth? Is it signed?
Says it is.
Signed youth baseball card.
Who has their signature when they're? I don't know how old they.
Well, he's a lizard, so I'm gonna say over. Shit.
I don't know.
Let's say around 50,000.
One of Zuckerberg's rich friends may buy this just to be a dick and
Sure.
make fun of him.
Yeah. My prediction's 50,000.
I'm gonna say 122,000.
Okay. All right. We'll see. We shall see. Closest without going over.
The card will be auctioned off as a digital collector's item
Oh, it's an NFT.
or a so-called NFT
I don't get that.
that has become so. Why, if he has the actual card, does that mean?
It's just going to be a picture of it? So does he get to keep it? This is brilliant. He gets to auction it off, but he still gets to keep it.
Such horseshit.
I don't understand this. Someone come on the show and explain it to us. How can you sell an NFT of a physical item?
A mint condition baseball card of Mickey Mantle is expected to fetch $10 million.
Man, baseball cards, really?
I guess.
Oh, I still have my Sammy Sosa. I got my Mark McGwire home run year. Asterisk.
I actually somewhere have a Jason Kidd rookie card.
Really?
I don't know where it's at.
You got to sell that to someone in Dallas. Because no
Oh,
one
yeah,
else,
he's the coach there
'cause
now.
no one
huh?
else gives a shit.
Yeah, that's true. He was good.
No, he was good. Hall of Fame for sure.
Bats returned to Nevada fire station, forcing its close. Bats have infested. I got to stop reading the headline and then the opening. They're the
Right.
same.
Yeah, the sub-headline's always the same.
The bats have been flying around the living quarters of the small fire station between Reno and Carson City, and dead bats have been found in a bay where an ambulance is parked. Well, that's good because that way, when you get your ambulance ride, you can also get a new variant of COVID.
Bat pox.
Yeah. Officials in 2015 managed to get the bats out of the fire station, but the return has generated health and safety concerns. Bats can transmit rabies and other viruses. You know,
No shit.
in the last 3 years, I haven't heard about bats
No.
transmitting any viruses.
No.
That's a new concept.
Yeah.
Huh.
I just thought it was the Chinese.
The guy's name is Mayberry, like the place. Firefighters and rescue workers based at the station dating back to the 50s will be relocated. Why don't they just build a new frickin' station then? How much does a fire station cost? Like
$10.
$10, $20. You know what they need to do is find a Mark Zuckerberg card
Right.
and sell it as and maybe once this guy sells it as an NFT, he can give them the card and they can sell it as
How
an
about
NFT.
we just give the firefighters some nets to sleep under, and they'll be fine. Or is that
we
just
can,
mosquitoes?
We can vampires. It does mention that all the bats are actually vampires, so it is going to be hard to. Huh.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. I thought there was going to be more to the story, but I guess that's all. Bats infesting fire stations
Bats in fire stations.
and Zuckerberg cards and I don't know what else.
That's it.
Really?
Yeah, we got to work our break into
Earlier?
earlier into the show. Maybe before we transition to heavy stories. Maybe we'll start doing that.
That's probably a good idea.
All right. Well, we'll bring that up next time.
We'll have a vote on it.
Yeah.
We'll discuss it with all the big upper important people here.
I mean,
all the
people
brass.
people listening aren't really taking a break, right?
I hold my urine literally until
Until the break. But I mean, we could pause.
I liked your Facebook post this week with the urinals.
Yeah.
Wherever you listen,
That-
insinuating that maybe because I personally only listen to podcasts
At the urinal.
while I'm peeing.
Right. If I start to poo, I take my headphones
I'm
out.
I'm halfway through the first episode of the Arctic podcast.
You know, I made that meme. I told you, I think.
Yeah.
I made that meme without even realizing it was funny.
Uh,
I was just playing around. I was like, oh, that is kind of funny. Toilets, wherever you listen. All right, next time I'll do a pooping one.
Whenever you can squeeze it in
Ooh.
or out. Squeeze
Squeeze it
us
out.
in while you're squeezing one out. That's a great
That's-
catch line.
Oh, that's
How
going on.
is that not like mainline marketing for some?
You need to T-shirt that immediately.
Squeeze us in while you squeeze one out.
The Yartake Podcast. I think we got something there.
Brought to you by Charmin
Yes.
and Pornhub. The Pornhub Arena. Or what? What is it?
Pornhub
Oh,
Arena.
it's Jerkmate. Don't you remember we talked about that? That I think it was Jerkmate. One of them wanted to buy the naming rights to the basketball stadium in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, oh, I don't.
Who was that? We always talked about Bang Bros. Are you sure it wasn't Bang
I don't think
Bros?
it was Bang.
Welcome to the NBA Finals Game 2 at Bang Bros Stadium. I forgot about that, man.
It was okay. Hold on, I found it. It was oh shit! It was Bang Bros.
Yes, I knew I remembered. Big welcome to Bang Bros Arena in Miami, Florida. Game 2.
I wish they would have done it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, make sure you get all your entertainment at bangbros.com.
you see during the finals, where they pan over the stadium?
Yeah.
There's a nice shot from the blimp of the Bang Bros arena
Bros
tonight.
blimp.
Bang Bros, get all your bus, sex, and need.
Just their taglines. Oh man, isn't there like a Family Guy where Brian's like, "Is this Captain Stabbin'?"
Yeah.
It's CAPN. Bang Bros Stadium. I love it.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
Speaking of which, if you work for the marketing department of any well-known, I'm not even well-known, of any porn-related website, you can sponsor the show anytime.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
All
All
right,
right.
well,
All right.
We won't record again before the show probably, so come see us on the 12th, Friday night, the
Say hi.
Boardwalk in Orem.
We'll be signing autographs.
Make like a timeout sign in the audience,
Mm-hmm.
like a T, and we'll know that you're there.
T for time to leave.
We'll know that you're there to see us, maybe.
Yeah.
Like as in the Our Take podcast, right? T. That's
T.
all right.
Make a cross.
Make a cross. Yeah, with your fingers, not with your arms. Anyway, find us at the Our Take Pod on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
If you
and
bring
TikTok.
a flaming cross to the show,
You'll be
we'll know.
escorted out. Or the oddtakepodcast.com, where you can view our shows or listen to all of them for free. Look at all our swag, shitballs and fuck gear, SBNF. For episode 132, I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer. See you next time.